This is Breaking Point 1, the full movie. In the lead up to F1 25 and Breaking Point 3 coming out later in May, we've already revisited Devin Butler's origin story in the F2 story mode in F1 2019. And here now in this video is my full original playthrough of Breaking Point 1 on F1 2021. This is for those of you who want to re-jog your memory and relive the story, or watch it for the very first time. So without further ado, I'll let the tapes roll and let you guys enjoy Breaking Point 1 in its entirety. We've got 5 teams to choose from: AlphaTauri, Aston Martin / Racing Point, Alfa Romeo, Haas, and Williams. I wasn't really too sure what one to pick. Obviously, I didn't also want to try and choose the same one as other fellow creators, but I'm going to go with Alfa Romeo. My good old friends from Alfa Romeo will be in the kind of Ferrari Academy, essentially, with Aiden Jackson, and also because our older team at Ackerman there, in the lead up to this game, we've been kind of told a little bio, and it kind of sounded like he's a very kind of Kimi character, so it seems very fitting that we're in the Alfa Romeo team. But here we go then, the prologue with the 2019 Formula 2 Championship coming down to the final race of the season. Young British driver Aiden Jackson is looking to etch his name into the history books. We're here at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the finale of the F2 2019 season. Let's do it.
An incredible race! Look at it! Every driver is being so aggressive! Check it out!
They'll all be feeling the pressure right now. None more so than young Aiden Jackson from Carlin.
That's right. Rumors from the paddock talk about a possible future for Jackson in Formula 1. And with only a few laps to go, this is still anyone's race.
The atmosphere here is electric, and we couldn't have asked for a better finish to the F2 season here in Abu Dhabi. Okay, Aiden, you're doing great. Keep focused. You know what to do. Copy that.
Copy that indeed. I am ready. We are 4 laps into 6 here. We're in 4th place. We've got to finish in 1st to win the F2 Championship. I also really like the little Breaking Point graphic there. Kind of matches the logo of Breaking Point. But anyway, besides the point, we're in P4 and we've got 3 cars to overtake to win the F2 Championship. We're going to try a little dive down the inside of Seta Camara. Doesn't quite pull off there. I thought better of it because I thought we were going to get pinched in to the inside. Took a fair amount of curb there as well. And we can see, oh, the Lord and Saviour is up the road under blue flags in P20. So Ranganathan's still in the game, guys. Some of you guys were a bit sad he wasn't going to be a selectable F2 driver in the My Team career mode, but he's still here in the game, in spirit, I guess. But we overtake Seta Camara up into P3. We've got Latifi to go and Giotto. Nice, obviously Latifi was way back in 2019. Now Latifi was in F2, of course. And so kind of nice, the fact that we span 3 different seasons from 2019 to 2021. But just having to watch behind us a little bit there. Seta Camara comes through on the right-hand side. We go defensive to the inside. Also, Ranganathan getting out of the way under blue flags. And we're able to maintain the P3. And now we're going to go and chase after Latifi and try and close that gap. There's a smaller one to Giotto. So once we catch Latifi, I think we should be good. But we've only got, 2 laps after this, 5 in 6. We need to try and get a move on. And of course, it's very, odd driving the F2 car always, because I don't drive F2 very often on the F1 games, on F1 2020 or even 2019, really. So it's always a little bit odd getting used to, obviously, the lack of downforce. And obviously, remember, on this game, we've now got, slightly different physics. The handling, the curbs are so much more kind of there and a bit more violent. You have to be very careful on that. And also, the tyres also a massive difference. And it's a difference that you see even with these cars, that you feel it, that the tyres are a bit more on edge and the whole car is more on edge. But it's also at the same time a bit more catchable. You feel like you're kind of planted more to the ground. So kind of getting up to speed very quickly. And we're actually catching up to Latifi with some absolute gusto. We're going to send one to the inside. And, well, very much confirmed that Latifi is, he's very much the same sort of AI from the last game. Kind of gets out of the way a little bit there. And we're able to overtake him with ease. And now we can try and catch up to Luca Giotto, who may put up more of a fight, but depends if we can get him in DRS or not, maybe. But we're here now, on to the last lap of the Grand Prix, so this is going to be, well, it's a story experience. It's going to be a very dramatic and cinematic ending, maybe, if we catch Giotto, because we're a little bit far back, 1.4, bit of understeer kicking in there as we went down a gear into the left-hander before the right, so we may just catch Giotto maybe by the end of the second DRS straight, so this is going to be a last sector overtake for the first part of this story mode in the prologue. Can we become the F2 champion? I feel like it would be kind of, you know, poor form if we didn't actually manage to pull this off and make Aiden Jackson the F2 winner, the champion, going into the rest of it. Because otherwise, you know, when we meet Devin Butler, because remember, he's going to turn up at some point in this story, when we meet him, I mean, we can't give him first blood of not winning the F2 championship. And, you know, he's going to have that over us. So let's try and get him if we can. We've got DRS here now. Obviously, no ERS to talk about in the F2 car, so just the slipstream of the DRS. We are still a little bit far back, but we're gaining quite a fair amount here in the brake zone as well. Purple second sector. You saw first red, so we lost some time in the first, but we gained it all back in the second. But we can't quite make the same dive we did on the TV on the left-hander, so playing the patient game. But even though I say that, we can't be too patient because we've only got a finite amount of corners to go to try and overtake Giotto. We had a look on the outside, try and look to the inside, doesn't work. Where am I going to make this overtake? We're running out of corners here. We're going through under the hotel in Abu Dhabi into the final corners. Where are we going to get Giotto? We've only got 2 corners to go. This is going to have to be the last corner, through the second last corner. Good exit, plant the power, dive down the inside. Easy does it on the inside. The checkered flag's going to fall, and on the last bend, we're going to do it and win the championship.
Fantastic work, Aiden. Great drive, mate. Congratulations. Yes! Come on! And he's done it. Jackson's done it. Aiden Jackson wins the F2 championship.
What a win for Jackson! What a win!
And it couldn't have gone to a better driver. A magnificent result. He's already been vocal about his dreams of one day driving for Ferrari in Formula One. Let's just hope the right people are watching today. And here he is, the man of the moment, Aiden Jackson.
An amazing race and a fantastic win for this incredible driver.
Indeed. After this, I guarantee that Jackson will be the hot topic in more than a few upcoming F1 team meetings. The future's definitely bright for this young driver.
I'm already really loving the kind of merge between the kind of in-game cutscene stuff and then the CGI, clearly. It fits in really well there. And that was the first time we got, I think, of Brian Doyle there. He was in the Alfa Romeo gear, so of course that will be all customized to whatever team you choose. But that was Brian Doyle, so we'll be seeing him pretty soon, I think, because he's going to be our main go-to guy, I think, as we step into Formula 1. So here we are, Chapter 1. So that was the prologue. Several months later at the Australian Grand Prix, you know, obviously this game was made pre kind of COVID, so it's a kind of pretend 2020 where the Australian Grand Prix went ahead, of course, I assume. Having won the Formula 2 Drivers' Championship, Aiden Jackson has now secured a seat in Formula 1 and is preparing to take his first steps into the world's most prestigious motorsport series.
Aiden, now you've made the leap to Formula 1, no surprise to anyone who's been watching your career. How does it feel to be on the verge of getting behind the wheel for your first race?
To be honest with you, Will, it hasn't really quite sunk in yet. The team has given me a fantastic opportunity. It's a once in a lifetime, a dream come true. So, to answer your question, I feel like a little kid. I look around and I'm surrounded by my heroes, you know? I've even had to pinch myself a couple of times. So, yeah, it can be a bit overwhelming. But out on the track, the speed, the noise, even the smell, it's all the same. I just hope my driving is too.
And what about Casper Ackerman? Are you intimidated at all having such a seasoned and experienced driver as your first teammate in Formula 1? How's that relationship coming along?
I've always looked up to Casper as someone to aspire to. Growing up as a kid, his pictures were all over my bedroom walls, you know? The dream was always to be Casper. But, as it turns out, I'll be racing alongside Casper, which is good enough for me. I get to learn from the best. Besides, every legend has to start somewhere, right?
Aiden, just wondering if we can get your reaction to the obvious comparisons that are being made between you and another F1 driver. Much like you, he made the transition from F2 to F1 last season. What do you say to the press here, and to your fans, who are calling you the new Devon Butler?
The new Devon Butler. I'm alright with that. Does that mean we can lose the old one?
You come over well. They like you. I don't know what you were worried about.
Thanks.
You know, everything's going to be fine out there today. I just know it. Just do what you did in F2. Easy.
Thanks, Brian. I won't let you down. Come on, Aiden. You've got this.
Brian seems like a stand-up guy. He's like a geezer, you know the type, down the pub, absolute geezer, and hopefully we're going to be seeing some more of him later. But yeah, no, seems like a good man to go to. But here we are then, we've got a whole new little vista and place here. This kind of little menu system essentially without breaking point. So we've got the newsroom. Obviously this would be where the driver's room is. We've got you know, some fruit, some water. We've got a few simple things and all our team gear. And I must say, Aiden Jackson's actually got a pretty sick helmet design as well, with the crazy stuff going on here. But as we go on to social then, as we've got a call from Brian, we just talked to you, man. Why are you calling me already? But anyway, as we go through the social, you may recognise a few familiar names, including who's this idiot? Is it too early to call for Mercedes? Question mark. I don't know, Arav. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to tweet you later and I'll let you know. But anyway, Brian seems pretty insistent on calling us, so let's pick up the phone and see what he has to say.
Hello?
Aiden, are you in your room?
Oh, hey Brian. Yeah, I'm in my room.
Of course I am. You were just with me.
Well, have a look around. I hope you like it. Should be everything you need in there. News feeds, social media. It's hooked up to the lot. Just do me a favour, eh?
Go on.
Make sure you check your emails. I think there's a message in there for you.
Oh, right. Thanks, Brian.
Take a breather, do what you need to do, and I'll see you before the race.
This man simply called me to remind me to check my email. I mean, to be fair, Formula 1 drivers, I guess they're very busy people, so, you know, it makes sense, but also at the same time, you could have just told me to check my emails in person. And now, I'm the most popular man in the world. We've got our mum is calling us. We've got to pick up.
Hello?
Hello, love. How's it going?
All right, Ma. Yeah, it's going all right. Just getting ready.
I saw your interview.
And?
You need a haircut.
All right. Well, thanks, I guess.
But aside from that, you were great. I'm so proud of you, Aiden.
I know, Ma. Thanks.
I wish I could be out there with you. This is everything you've worked towards.
Yeah, I know, but you'll be at the next one.
Just do what you do, and everything will be great.
Thanks, Ma.
And remember, mirror signal maneuver. And always stick to the speed limit.
Great advice. I'm all over it.
I know you are, love. I'll speak to you later. Good luck.
Bye.
That was the most classic mum conversation I've heard. That's like a convo I would have with my mum if I was an F1 driver. And she seemed pretty upset about not being in the first race. Maybe she's going to pop up later. I don't think she's a main character in the game, but she may pop up later when we're winning the F1 championship. Let's start off confident here. But anyway, we've got some emails now as well. Frederick Vasseur inviting us, welcoming us into the team, but obviously he's saying there in the email that Brian will be our main port of call. We've got a weekend preview for the Australian Grand Prix, so very much this is kind of set out as if, you know, the pandemic didn't happen and that the first race is going to be the Australian Grand Prix, round number 1. And then we've actually got an email from our teammate, which is a bit odd. Casper Ackerman has sent us a good luck email, which kind of already seems a bit passive-aggressive, I can't lie, with the subject. I noticed that you left your paperwork over in the garage, so I handed it to your PA. You can thank me later. Does that just mean you've just been snooping at my paperwork, like my setup stuff for Australia? I'm not liking the vibe going on already, and I've not even met you properly in a cutscene yet. But hey, good luck out there today. It's your first race. Let's see what we can do together, Casper. Well, you know that was a bit nicer. You know, I'm not gonna prejudge him. Let's see what happens in our first race together as teammates. And we're gonna load in mid-race then to the Australian Grand Prix for Chapter 1 with the world watching and expectations high out Alfa Romeo. F1 rookie Aiden Jackson appears to be holding his own in his maiden race in Melbourne. With the possibility of a points finish, he keeps focused on the race in front of him.
A solid start, Aiden. Let's try and push it further.
Copy that. Where's Casper?
He's up ahead. Let's try and bring you two closer together.
Right, 9 laps to go then in this Australian Grand Prix. We're P14 then, and Ackerman, our teammate, is in P10. So we've got to try and catch up to him before lap 11. So we've got 5 laps then to try and catch him. That is the target. We've got Ricciardo in between and another car as well that we can't see quite yet. But Ackerman is the one staying at the very top of the standings. Of course, that's the main target. So let's see what we can do. But this also, you know, compared to the F2 as well, this is also a weird experience as well, because remember, this is a 2020 Alpha. These are all 2020 cars right now. We're playing the 2020 season in this part of the story mode. So even this is odd, because obviously it's a car I'm familiar with from the last F1 game, but it's different handling, different physics. But having already driven a bit with the proper F1 cars, obviously with the early early preview videos we did, we should get up to speed pretty quickly. Let's go chase after Ricciardo then in the Renault, and then obviously ultimately try and catch up to Casper Aikman as well. Lap 7 though, we're catching up to Ricciardo. First and foremost, have to get past him, and also Russell, who's for position. He goes a little bit defensive. Ricciardo fade to the left, went to the right. They got very, very close, and Ricciardo gets the move done on Russell on hard tyres, so he's a bit slow down this second phase of the race. We can't quite make a cheeky dive on the inside of Ricciardo right now, the home favourite here in the Renault, but let's try and see what we do on to lap number 8. We've got the ERS also, plenty of battery pack left in there, DRS open, and here we go for the move. Of course, on this year's game, remember, there's no more rich mix with the fuel. It's just the ERS and DRS, but we get the move done eventually, get the elbows out a bit into turn 1, then hit a bit of understeer, and then, oh my god, I didn't even realise, looky here. Would you believe it? Devon Butler, we meet for the very first time on F1 2021. On track this is. Even before a cutscene, we have seen Devon Butler on track. P11, we're going to overtake him. We're going to try and mince him on the inside. Very aggressive dive bomb there. He's in the AlphaTauri, which is pretty cool for me, because if you remember back to F1 2019, Butler and my career mode back on that game ended up in a Red Bull. So that's a nice Easter egg. At this stage, we've not really got any bad blood with a Devon too much, really. But, oi, as the rear end steps out there, you can see what I mean by, I said earlier, you can catch the car quite well, although the car is very much on edge. But now, let's try and not do that too many times and actually try and catch up to Casper in P10. This is for the points-paying positions, you know. So first race, our debut in Formula 1, this will be a massive thing if we can overtake Casper and beat our veteran teammate, remember. You know, he's a veteran in the sport, so this will be a big deal for us. You know, kind of almost the same if Giovinazzi went and overtook and, you know, beat Raikkonen in his first race in the debut, or any really, you know, rookie, teammate versus their more veteran one. And so we're slowly gaining. We're within 1 second now, so we'll have DRS coming up onto lap 11, which was our objective, obviously, to catch up to Casper by lap 11.
It's Australian Grand Prix this has been, but there's still plenty of time for more drama.
There certainly is, Crofty, and these two have been fighting each other incredibly hard so far. They don't want to go tripping over each other, though, because Devon Butler is coming up from behind. He's on the attack, too.
Aiden, Casper's not your priority. We need you to defend.
It's okay. I've got this.
Here comes Butler. 3 abreast going into turn 11. Oh, this can't work, and it doesn't. Ackerman's off onto the verge of what looks like damage as well.
Is he okay? Is Casper okay?
He'll be fine. He's heading for the pits now. You just concentrate on the race.
There we have it. Well, I'm sure there's going to be fireworks in the Alfa Romeo garage tonight.
There will be, Crofty, for sure. Look, it was a late move from Devon Butler, but you never want to see two teammates make contact, and Ackerman will surely be seething at that one.
Absolutely, and I tell you who else isn't going to be happy too. Aiden Jackson, not how his F1 race debut should have gone.
Are you kidding me? Really? I said we hadn't, met Devon yet. We hadn't have any reason for him to be a bit tetchy with us. Well, now I do, because for me, he dived down the inside there. He didn't need to make it 3 wide. He shouldn't have. 3 wasn't going to go into 1 there. And instead, ourselves, Aiden, had to swipe it right there, make some contact with Casper. And so he's broken wing. So not an ideal, rookie debut, making contact with your teammate like that, making him go off on the grass. But the least we can do now is catch back up and make up for this. And let's still get that P10, still get 1 point on the debut and get points for the team. And this time, we're having to re-overtake Butler, but now we mean business. We're going to be no Mr. Nice Guy. If he puts up a fight, we're definitely going to be a little bit more aggressive towards him if he does put up a fight, and I suspect he might do this time round versus the first time there after making a dive to the inside for 3 wide. But here we are then on towards lap 13, then DRS open, gaining on Devon Butler. He goes defensive to the inside line there. We're going to bang tyres. We're going to make it known how annoyed we are at him. We go for the switchback from left to right. Doesn't quite work out there, but we get the better exit. DRS second by the cherry. This is on the second straight after turns 2, and now we go defensive to the inside, cover off Devon, but he's actually around the outside then. He gives us a real good scrap, but we're going to maintain the position. Bit of understeer kicking in, maybe the tyre wear a bit high in that front left for sure, as I looked at it earlier, but we're up into P10 then behind Lando Norris and Alexander Albon, in the Toro Rosso. Is it in 2020? Yeah, Toro Rosso started off the season. Yeah, it started off the season, Toro Rosso actually. I actually forgot that was even a thing he swapped over. So yeah, but we make it into the point, and in the end of it though, it's going to be Lewis Hamilton that wins this race, but we do recover and we make up for it. So I don't know how this is going to go in the debrief, really. I'm sure the team are going to be annoyed at me, or maybe the press might press me about what happened with Casper, but ultimately I feel like we got points in the end still, and I don't think that was my fault. I think that wasn't our fault. That was Devon Butler's fault.
All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
The Mercedes team pulled out a fantastic performance today. They should be proud. What a start to the season this has been. A fascinating race here in Australia, Ant.
The top teams as ever continue to push the boundaries of the sport, and it'll be interesting to see how the new Alfa Romeo driver Aiden Jackson settles in, especially after that early incident involving his teammate.
Well, we've certainly seen rivalries born from less. Suffice to say, if you came into the 2020 season hoping for a bit of drama, it looks like you won't be disappointed. After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
So Hamilton wins in 2020 then, no surprise, but the fallout is going to be between myself and Casper, and I wonder also what Devon's going to say. Maybe this can be the first time we see him in the story, because we've got an awkward incident involving Devon Butler and his own teammate Casper Akerman marred Jackson's maiden outing in F1. That doesn't sound good. That sounds like we're about to get bollocking, or there's going to be a bit of drama here.
Casper, listen, I don't know what happened out there. It wasn't my fault.
Well, whose fault was it then?
Oh God, he's pissed.
Who was the idiot behind the wheel of your car?
I gotta say, his voice matches what I thought he would be like.
You're pathetic. You won't even admit when you made a mistake.
How
did they ever sign you?
Okay. Oh, here he is. Here he is.
Devon, I didn't see that.
What, like, out on the track today? You nearly took me out, mate.
Look, I don't know what happened. You cut in, I swerved. Next thing I knew, Casper was out.
Whoa. Mate, I was nothing to do with it. Whatever that was all on you.
Huh?
Don't be trying to pass the blame, because you haven't settled in yet.
That's how he wants to play this, huh? That's how he wants to play this. Nice to see you back in the F1 world, mate.
Sorry, Aiden. Just bear with us 1 sec.
No problem.
I think that's really just a case of rookie driver, rookie mistakes. These cars are a bit different.
Oh, look at him go.
You seem to find your feet quite quickly after you graduated from Formula 2. What advice would you give to Jackson in his first season?
Well, stay out of my way mostly. And taking out your own teammate isn't something I would make a habit of.
Almost ready, Aiden. We're just checking audio levels.
Sure.
Seriously, Casper must be wondering what on earth Alfa Romeo were thinking.
That's great. Thanks, Devon.
Yeah.
I simply want to hit him off the circuit. I simply don't like him.
Let's talk about that incident with your teammate.
Also, Aiden needs to buck up. Come on, lad. Come on. Yeah, you look way too down and downbeat, all right? Look, I am driving as you, mate, okay? None of this, you know, oh, I'm sorry. We need to be a bit, you know, have a bit of gusto behind us in the interviews, lad. None of this.
Brian.
Talk to me. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Listen, what happened out there today? I had it all under control and then...
Look, let's not go through all that now. We'll talk about it at the debrief.
Right, yeah.
I was actually talking about your little run-in with Casper and Butler over in the paddock.
Oh, wow. News travels fast.
The paddock talks, Aiden. Besides, I've got ears like a hawk. Listen, Butler's a clown. The man's ego is bigger than a... No, I've got nothing. Don't give it a second thought.
Thanks, Brian.
But Casper? Yes, he can get a little hot-headed, especially after a race. But you have got to work with him. That manoeuvre today...
Wasn't my fault, Brian.
It probably cost us points. I'll level with you. A lot of people on the team are disappointed, Aiden. And I'll be saying as much to Casper. Now, learn from it and move on. But you can't let it happen again. I'll see you at the debrief.
And Brian coming in with the ever kind of, you know, cool, calm, collected. Nice little arm over us. It's calm. I still, though, maintain... I just want to punch Devin. I mean, simply off that first scene alone, which is, I mean, quality stuff. It's good to see they've really, you know, didn't water him down. If anything, they made him more of an arse than they did from F1 2019, really. But we've got some emails here. Hey, Hayden, we've got hair and makeup arriving at the hotel room, 9 a.m. sharp. I know you said you didn't need it, but the client insists. Then a car will be there at 10 to take you to a location. Wardrobe meet you on site. I've seen some of the looks they want. Be open-minded, okay? I know I'm going on, but that's what a good PA's for. Okay. So could we maybe be getting some photo shoot cutscenes later or something like that? I don't know, but nice little context there to the world of Formula 1. Of course, as F1 drivers have to shoot off and do a lot of PR stuff, but yeah, I don't think that was our fault. Like, you know, Devin dived down the inside. We had to move a bit to give him space, but in doing so, obviously, that's when we made our error. But ultimately, you know, if Devin didn't send one, we wouldn't have to do that. But that's beside the point. It's happened, and he's been a prick about it. But I'm sure we can get him back, hopefully, or hopefully we will get him back. I'm hoping. But anyway, we move then into Chapter 2. 1 month later at the Chinese Grand Prix, the world of motorsport moves fast, with focus quickly shifting to the Chinese Grand Prix. Aiden Jackson and Alfa Romeo are eager to find form heading into the fourth race of the 2020 season.
It's the Chinese Grand Prix here in Shanghai, and this track fast becoming a rookie's favourite. Alex Albon, remember him from last year? A brilliant race in his debut season, and it looks like Aiden Jackson's continuing the trend.
He really is, Croft. He's showing great promise so far this season.
Well, here's Ackerman now, going up behind his young teammate.
The rumour in the paddock, Crofty, is that the tension's building between these two. Let's see what happens here.
Here we go, Ackerman's going for it! Down the inside of the hairpin, he's barged his teammate off the track!
What are you doing? Casper, what the hell?
Looks like Jackson's really struggling to get over that.
Okay, Aiden, keep it focused, concentrate.
That brush with his teammate clearly affecting the young driver.
It looks like it has, Crofty. I can't see any significant damage to that car, so he's going to have to pull himself back into this race.
Car's looking okay, Aiden. See if you can recover a few places.
What was that all about?
You can recover, Aiden.
That's not okay. That's really not okay.
Civil War. Alfa Romeo Civil War. Beautiful, okay? Look, listen, you can't have a good story without a bit of Civil War in Formula 1. I feel you guys know how much I love that in storylines with Formula 1 career modes of the past. And we've got one here in Breaking Point. Casper, what the hell was that? That was like an absolute send and then just full elbow jab out on the left-hand side. So we're down to then P14 then as the rear end snaps a bit overcast here around around China, and we're on lap 8 of 14, catching up to Lando Norris then in the McLaren, and we've got a lot of work to do to try and catch up to Casper, but we've set a purple last sector, so we've got some good speed in the car, in a straight line at least here, I would say, but let's see how we go. China, a bit of an all. I haven't driven China in absolute ages. We're going to try and go around the outside of Lando in the McLaren. Easy does it. Lock up in the front left. Close stuff there. Nearly wheel banging, but we're going to give him the room, unlike Casper did to us. And on the exit, having to use a bit of ERS to try and just get ahead. We can't go fully to the inside there as Lando really gets the nose, and we have to give him some space there. He's there in the mirrors, but eventually gives up the position there. And, well, I was hoping that's what, that would happen at that corner with Casper, but clearly not. Casper committed to the dive, unlike Lando there, and hit us off. So now we've got work to do. We're P9. Looks like Casper, I think he's like P8 or 7. Maybe, I think P8 or 9. So let's push on and see if we can try and re-overtake him later in the race. But firstly, of course, we have to try and dispatch the cars in between us. The objective is not actually to even overtake Casper. It's actually just to gain back 10th place. It looks like he may be in 10th quite nicely. But there's, I don't know, obviously this is a normal kind of, race with AI. So there might be half a chance that he goes and overtakes someone else with P9. But we've got to try and recover the P10 that we were in pre that collision with Ackerman. So we're catching up to Ocon then, the other Renault. We've already overtaken one Renault in this story so far, Ricciardo, Australia. But like I said, yeah, as I was overtaking Norris, I was about to say, it's again an oddity of, driving China. Weird thing, because I haven't driven it in absolute ages. The last time I must have driven it was, I think, season 3, I think, in F1 2020, my team career mode, which was literally like last year, I think, like in October or something like that. So it's been a minute, and this is actually playable. China is actually playable in F1 2021 in Grand Prix mode, so because it's in Breaking Point, so they allowed us to play in Grand Prix mode and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool of it, because of course at the moment it's not completely confirmed to be on the F1 2021 calendar, but we're now catching up then to Ocon, then back to the racing action at hand. He goes a bit defensive there, but we've got DRS, and it's a nice dive in through to the hairpin up into P12 then. Russell, this time not for position, he's under blue flags, so we overtake him with ease there, lets us through, and the next car along for position is Carlos Sainz then in the McLaren, and then Ackerman is there in P10 in the other Alfa Romeo car, and on the mini-map he's a little bit further ahead of the McLaren, so we've got a bit of work to do maybe once we dispatch of Sainz, but we've got to try and get through Magnussen. A bit of awkward timing here with the blue flags, no great way to let us through in those corners, but thankfully Magnussen, is he going to let us through here? Yes, he will. Get out of the way. We deploy some ERS there to try and boost ourselves through, and then try and get on the back of Sainz in Sector 2 and try and maybe make a move again. I would say at the DRS straight, because it seems like that's where we're getting a decent amount of time there in a straight line, I would say. And into the hairpin then on that very same lap 11. We are there through, and we're able to maybe make a move into turn 1, which is going to be a little bit close. On the outside, though, we did try to pull it off with Lando Norris, and we somewhat pulled it off. Obviously, we're still side by side with him on the exit, but here we go across the line then. Lap number 12, P12, but P11 maybe as we go to the inside with the ERS help as well. Very close to the left-hand side, nearly grazed Sainz's side pod, but soaring away at the steering wheel, trying to just kind of ride the curb a little bit on the inside and maintain the position. The Alfa Romeo understeering a little bit versus the McLaren, but in the end, we do get the position into P11, and now it's just me, the Ackerman for P10. Albon, the Toro Rosso, he's a bit further up the road, and so I think we should be good to just be battling Ackerman. I don't think we'll actually be battling Albon then. Is it even the Toro Rosso? Is it? I can't even remember. 2020? No, was it? No, it wasn't. It was the AlphaTauri, but he's still in that blue. Anyway, that's besides the point. Here we go then. Fast up for the Grand Prix, there for Aiden Jackson. We're closing up to Ackerman now. Round the outside. Is he going to try and get the elbow out again? I'm a little bit cautious. Don't know what he's going to do here, Force off once, but easy does it. Very fine on the right-hand side. But that's how you do it, Casper. That's how you overtake someone and not having to hit them completely off. Obviously, there's a difference between aggressive, dive bombing and getting the elbows out, and then just shoving them completely, off circuit and making them lose a couple of positions, especially when it's your teammate, mate. Especially when it's your teammate, all right? A bit of respect it goes a long way. But we're through into P10. But the fight's not over yet, because on to the last lap of the Grand Prix. Ackerman comes back at us. Remember, he is DRS now into turn 1. Round the outside we go, so we have to battle. Ackerman, we're making some contact there on the sideboard. I think that was, as we got some damage and some grazing to Ackerman's sideboard on the right-hand side. So close. We maintain the position, and hopefully we can for the remainder of the lap. Valtteri Bottas will win this Chinese Grand Prix, and we come home, and we are going to get that singular point, but it is points for us, and no points, nil points for Casper. And I think a bit of karma there, I think.
Well, plenty to digest there, and a little bit ominous seeing the two Alfa Romeo teammates make contact again.
Things don't look stable between these two drivers, Crofty. They've barely been teammates 5 minutes.
That wheel bump, could that have been avoided, Ant?
Yeah, it looked like Ackerman was making a bit of a statement to me. He's certainly not given Jackson any room.
A sign of things to come? Well, for their sakes, let's hope not. That wraps things up here in China. Until next time.
So you heard Crofty and Anthony Davidson there talk about the kind of destabilisation a bit. So I think things are slowly boiling away. And I feel like at some point things are going to boil over. Because right now we're just kind of getting... It's the repeat at China, the second time, third time. Will we be so lucky? Probably not, I don't think, if things are going to heat up even more. And I think also Butler's going to play a part. I'm sure Butler's going to just prod and poke and make things worse. Maybe even say something to Casper. I definitely wouldn't put it past him to say something to Casper to make him hate us more or something like that going on through this season. But as we go on through here to the end of Chapter 2, following an eventful Chinese Grand Prix, tensions are on the rise, and Alfa Romeo's Jackson and Ackerman again make contact with one another, like I said, following an aggressive overtake maneuver by the veteran Chinese Grand Prix post-race. Oh, here we go. Look at that stride.
Casper, what the hell was that?
Look at us, man.
You nearly put me out the entire race. Bumping wheels like that, you could have put us both into the barrier. Casper, come on, man.
I have to make a phone call.
Casper.
Wow, Raikkonen vibes indeed.
Ackerman!
Raikkonen vibes indeed.
Mum, cancel the TV subscription. The entertainment is right here.
Oh, come off it. Do you really have nothing better to do?
Right now? No. And why would I want to miss this? You two are like characters in a badly written sitcom. He wanted your lot to sign Ricardo, you know.
You what, mate? You what?
Ask anyone.
What do you mean?
The paddock talks, mate. And so did Ackerman.
Oh, he's stirring here.
Should have heard him last season. He didn't care who he talked to, and he was always going off on one about you. He tried to stop them from signing you. He didn't want to play babysitter.
Oh, he did he?
Everyone knows. Have you not seen the way that people look at you? We all feel sorry for you, mate. You never stood a chance with him. You want my advice? Prove him wrong. Chin up.
Oh, we'll prove him wrong. We'll prove him wrong. And we'll prove you wrong as well, Devon. I'm not forgetting about you, mate. You're not getting away scot-free, but I'm going to prove him wrong. He didn't want us to sign for the team. Look, he's just afraid. He's afraid of the new gen coming through. Veteran, silly man. Get out. Get started. Go enjoy retirement, mate. And it's time now for us to maybe prove him wrong, as Devon said. And who knows? Maybe Devon was actually giving some good advice there by letting us know that little tidbit that we weren't aware of before about Ackerman. Well, we've got Aiden's mum calling us right now, so you can't ignore your mum for too long. So let's answer the phone and see what she has to say.
Hey, Ma.
Hello, love. I saw the race and thought I'd give you a call.
And why's that?
Just to say well done, like I always do.
Oh, right.
I saw what happened in the race with Casper. Can't believe he wasn't penalized. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
And Casper, what's he said about it?
Nothing. He wouldn't speak to me.
Well, maybe keep trying. It can't hurt to clear the air. Just remember what your grandmother always used to say. The fights that can't be won are the fights you fight the hardest.
I'm not even sure that makes sense.
Just Whatever's going on, don't let it get to you. And call me later, okay?
Will do.
You know what? I think they've really done a really nice job on this game with the characters and the voice acting and everything like that. Because Aiden's mum's genuinely very, you know, she's a lovely little character. You can tell, you know, with the way she sounds, very, very caring about her son and coming out with a bang of phrases. The fights that you can't win are the ones that you fight the hardest. Wow, deep stuff there. But, yeah, maybe we do need to try and clear the air, but it doesn't really help that literally in the last cutscene we saw, Casper was so despondent. He was literally Raikkonen vibes, just wouldn't want to talk to us, and then just left. Like, you can't really, I don't know what he wants us to do. I don't know how you break the ice and clear the air when you just can't talk to the guy, but whatever. But we've got a heads up then about the briefing. It's pushed back by 20 minutes. It's calm. And a little bump between you and Casper. Got quite a few people concerned. Don't think Frederick's too impressed. So we've got some harsh words maybe in the debrief. Okay, that's fine. You've got to start working together. There's a lot of stake here. Well, you know, we've tried to clear the air. You know, obviously we as Aiden made the mistake at Australia. You know, we tried to say sorry, and then Casper came back at us in China. So it's kind of 1 for 1. Hopefully now that we're kind of even effectively, maybe there's a clean slate, but I don't know. But we've got an update also from our personal assistant, which is a little subplot here in the emails going on. Got a couple of things I'd like to fire over. Restaurants confirmed for tonight. Okay, decent. Mom's birthday next week. You asked me to remind you. And Colin Perry keeps contacting me to see if you want an interview, but we're not keen apparently for whatever reason. So I don't know if it's like a nosy interviewee that maybe you don't want to have a bad answer with. But I didn't really speak about it too much in episode 1 because there was so much going on. But I actually really rate the little details that they've had so far in this game with the laptop stuff, the email. Like, if you go through and actually bother to read them, you get like a nice little, you know, just extra details and subplot to Aiden's life and the life of a Formula 1 driver and such. And just little Easter eggs as well, like the F1 2020 logo, the game logo at the bottom of his laptop there. So he is also a fan of the F1 game. But we now go to 2 months later, to the French Grand Prix. Okay, Chapter 3, recent series of incidents with his teammate Casper Ackermann, both on and off track, have marred the start of Aiden Jackson's rookie F1 season. With the French Grand Prix coming up, Jackson is keen to find the form that brought him so much success in F2. Okay, French Grand Prix, not usually that exciting, but let's hope it is in this story. Let's go.
It's a great day for racing here at Le Castellet, and the drivers are making their final preparations on the grid. Let's hope for a thrilling contest then here at the French Grand Prix. Mastering a lap of Paul Ricard means getting to know 15 corners, 6 left and 9 right, for an overall lap distance of 3.6 miles. The two halves of the long Mistral Straight are separated by a heavy braking zone into a potential overtaking hotspot at the Chicane Nord. And watch out for the drivers running onto the distinctive coloured stripes, which are low in grip and highly abrasive. Here we are then at the Circuit Paul Ricard in France, the 10th race of the 2020 Formula 1 season. And the standings are starting to take some kind of shape, Ant.
Yeah, exactly. You've got your big three jostling for position at the top, so no surprises there. A little less predictable in the midfield, though you could make an argument for Alfa Romeo underperforming somewhat.
The two Alfa Romeo drivers denying each other points, perhaps. Well, it's all to race for, and there's a lot of the season left ahead of us. So let's see how it all pans out. With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Leclerc, Sergio Perez, and Ricciardo, Norris, Vettel, Sainz and Lance Stroll, Ocon, Ackermann, Devon Butler and Albon, Gasly, Grosjean, George Russell and Aiden Jackson, Magnussen and Nicholas Latifi. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Okay, we've not quite had the start of the season we'd hoped for, but we've got a chance to make up some ground today. Try to keep your nose clean and show us what you've got. Good luck, Aiden.
Okay, so it looks like we've actually got a very kind of normal F1 2021 race here now in the story mode. We're literally starting off like we usually would be, like in a Grand Prix mode or career mode setting, with a strategy screen. We've got a full 25% race then to do at France. Okay, I'm a bit surprised, because I actually thought they were just going to keep, you know, putting us in the middle of races and giving us scenarios. But this is quite cool, so we can really carve out what happens in this race. And more importantly, I guess we can try and do exactly what, you know, Butler was recommending us to do, is prove Casper wrong and, you know, go out there and beat him today. But our main objective as we go to 5 red lights to this French Grand Prix, then 13 laps ahead of us, is to beat both McLaren and Renault drivers. So that is the goal, and Casper beating him will just be an added bonus, and also Devin Butler, I guess, on the left-hand side, because he's there in the AlphaTauri. We're up into P14 already from 18th place. Oh, a little bit of contact with Casper Akerman already into turn 1, and Butler's there as well. So all three of us close together on circuit, trying to go to the inside, but Butler defends really well and allows Alexander Albon to go around the outside. Oh, Albon and Butler making contact there. That's not going to be great for Butler. He's trying to aim for a Red Bull seat later in the future. But we're going to get through on Albon then, struggling in the Red Bull as he did back in 2020. Remember, this at the moment is the 2020 season in the story we're in. Obviously, we started off in F2 2019, and now we're in 2020. We'll be moving towards 2021 in the back end of this story, I'm assuming. And, you know, this the first portion is this season right now, getting to grips with Formula 1, obviously. And so we're in P14, settling in, defending against Albon. Can we try and get past Butler, though, into the last sector, maybe, on this first lap, and then go on chasing after Ocon, who's the first Renault I can see on the ladder there in P11. So we've actually got to do a fair bit of racing, because I think both McLarens and both Renaults are in the top 10. So we've got to try and aim for a very lofty position here. But we go and make a beautiful little move on the outside of Devin Butler then, on the inside to the outside of that right, and then the left-hander at the end of Sector 3. Now we're catching up to Akerman, but remember, he's not the target. It is those Renaults and the McLaren. So I'm looking at Ocon actually just up the road, but it's a good exit off turn 2. Akerman really slow. Here we go, bit of ERS usage there. It's going to be very close to the inside. He's going to squeeze as we make contact on the left front, and we're going to do not exactly what he did to us at China, but, you know, got the elbow out and, you know, kind of let him know that we are there, and we're not going to get bullied off that corner anymore. So we're not having an issue with him this race. That's not part of the script, but that is definitely what's happened there, as we're taking matters into our own hands to get revenge on behalf of Aiden, whilst we're driving as him, as we now try and go on Ocon, trying to be a bit clever with the way we're placing our car to get a good exit, but we make a bit of contact with Ocon as he's so slow off that corner. We couldn't actually switch it from left to right, and in the end he actually defends very well. Tried to be a bit clever there, going a little bit slower into the entry of turns 1 and 2 to open up the corner and the exit to kind of get that switch, but the Renault was able just to park it in a very awkward position, so instead you have to be patient and wait till the main straight. But here we go now, DRS is going to be available. We're already on the ERS on the exit of the corner, but now in 8th gear, not using it, just the DRS will be needed to go punching past Ocon there, turning in and just making sure we don't completely pinch him out there, and we're up into P11, and it's only lap number 3, so making good progress. But we've still got, I think, both McLarens, because I can see both orange dots, and then Ricciardo is even further up the road. I think Ricciardo is like, maybe, I'm trying to count here on the minimap, I think he's like P5. So we've got to go a long way here to beat both these teams. That's actually maybe quite a difficult challenge, actually, you know, as we go down the inside into the last bend to get Stroll in the Racing Point car here in 2020. Obviously becomes Aston Martin later on in the story, but we now catch up to a big train, tail-ended by Norris and led by Ricciardo. So we have to get through all these cars. The 2 McLarens, both Ferraris here. We're going to get Orlando here straight away, though. Flat out right-hander. Bit of ERS usage to help us out, and we're up into P9 now on lap number 4. But look at this train. This is massive. This is so France. So you just can't overtake, or the AI can't overtake each other here, and they're finding it very difficult. So on Sebastian Vettel now, slow in a straight line. That Ferrari 2020, the Alfa Romeo, giving it a good run for its money, just like it did in real life, and round the outside of turn 1. Nice move on Seb, and we can launch off and try and chase after Carlos Sainz straight away on the back straight. But you know what, I think he's going to try a move on his future teammate Leclerc, you know, at some point. I think if he's not careful, we might just get him before he gets the opportunity, because he's definitely looking at Leclerc but we're going to try and catch him napping if we can. Here we are, ERS usage, go on the left-hand side. He's going to gain a bit on Leclerc, but we're going to overtake him before he gets the chance to close up to the Ferrari. Flat-out commitment needed. He's still there on the inside, bit of ERS usage. Needed to try and push past, but Sainz, fair play to him, really defends quite well, actually. He gave me a much bigger fight than I thought he would do, and we're literally pushing him through the next corner, though, as we get a good exit, and now the awkward kind of off-camber left-hander before then the slight right into the long left before the final bend. Can we make a diving move on Sainz? We might need to, but no, we're a little bit too far away from him, but we do make a little move on the outside. He actually hits the curb on the inside, Sainz does, and so he slows up, actually, so he actually got a really poor exit. So we're able to open up, but look at how quick that McLaren is in a straight line, coming back at him, coming back at us, even with DRS open, but obviously we didn't use too much ERS there, and that's how powerful it can be on this year's game. If you're not careful, the AI will mince you with ERS, but we're having a really ding-dong scrap then with Sainz. We squeeze him to the inside, and we can get that move done finally up into P7, but that was actually a really nice little battle with Sainz, so like overlap there nearly, and he was very aggressive at some points there, defending and placing his car correctly, but now we've got past him, we can chase off to Leclerc, and then really the man we're looking at is 2 places ahead of him. We've got, I think that's Perez, and then you've got Ricciardo in the Renault, but we've now got our first round of pit stops, and we're on lap number 6, so just over halfway done then of this Grand Prix. We go on to lap number 7, and we are yet to pit. Leclerc is yet to pit as well. We both continue on along with Bottas, but me and Leclerc are the 2 lead midfielders now still out on circuit on the softs, and the reason why is because I felt like we'd get Leclerc before the pit stop window as we come through on the outside. It's a lovely little move there on the Ferrari, and the Ferrari not doing too well here around Paul Ricard, but we're up into P2 then, and so yeah, I stayed out because I just thought we'd get Leclerc before we make the pit stop, and then hopefully we're going to come out and be somewhere near Ricard, obviously. But into the pit lane entry, Leclerc makes a move on me and tries to overtake me in the entry. I've not seen an AI be that punchy. We're trying to make a move into a pit lane entry there, but that's maybe just how poor I was maybe on the pit entry itself, to be fair to Leclerc and the game. But our teammate in as well, so Ackerman's in on the same lap as me, so that's awkward. So I'm going to hold him up a little bit, so not intentional, but you know what? It's worked out pretty well if I hold up Casper here. Bit of karma if he gets held up, although saying about karma, maybe some karma for me is staying out to put me back behind Sainz and Vettel as well. But Leclerc's done that as well, so you can just see that really was just staying out for one lap. Actually really hurt us a lot, and the undercut was very powerful as both of us lost the positions to Sainz and Vettel. So we have to re-overtake these 2 and then close back up to what is going to be Sergio Perez, I'm pretty sure, in the lead Racing Point car, and then Ricciardo in what is at the moment, as I count, P4. So we're aiming for P4 in this race because that's what the goal is, of beating McLaren and Renault. So very lofty heights and a lot further ahead than Ackerman for sure. So we're definitely proving him wrong. But right now at the moment, watching Sainz v Vettel with a bucket of popcorn and trying to find a way through. Vettel a little bit wide there, go to the inside, and there was a bit of locking up there, so I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I was a bit worried about some sort of incident or crash happening. But we're all good, and we're going to close up to Sainz. A little bit of ERS left over in the tank, so can we use some here mid-corner just to boost us and go for the dive? No, not quite. Thought better of it, because if I did, and I thought about it again there, but Sainz just cuts us up and places the car so well once again. So really, really nice scrap then with this Spaniard for most of this race that we've at least been with him on circuit. I've not had a point where we've been together on circuit and not battling it out. Here we go for the late lunge, and that's the move I wanted to make in the earlier stint, but we couldn't quite do it. But this time we have. And we're to the inside and up into P6. We now move on to lap number 9 and then 10 subsequently as we try and catch up now to Sergio Perez. Bit of a twitch on the rear end, but the sun is out here in Paul Ricard. DRS open and overtake mode engaged halfway down that straight, and then we turn it off and we just let the DRS do its thing. We're past Perez and up into P5, and the next one along is the final target, Daniel Ricciardo. We have to overtake him if we want to try and complete the objective of this part of the story. Chapter number 3, chasing after Ricciardo, proving Casper Ackerman wrong and showing we've got what it takes here in Formula 1 to get some big points in the Alfa Romeo versus our rivals in the midfield. We close up on Ricciardo, slow on the exit. That same one, they've been so poor all race long. Can't quite make the move to the inside because I thought better of it. I could have gone for the move there, but I just thought he was going to pinch us in, maybe like what we had before. So instead, going to be patient and get the move done around the outside. This on the final lap of the Grand Prix. So once again, we've left it late to get the objective, but we've done it on the last lap. And, you know, we're best of the rest because the podium there, I think it's Valtteri Bottas, must be surely winning the race. Hamilton second, Verstappen third. Best of the rest, though, here at France. And very much proving everyone wrong, but especially Casper Ackerman, and even, to be fair, Devin Butler. As much as he was playing Mr. Nice Guy in the last cutscene and, you know, giving us the advice and the heads up about the rumours, we still want to thrash him as well, equally, so we beat both of them thoroughly.
Business as usual for the big three, but a bit of a reshuffle in the midfield here in France.
That's certainly much better from Alfa Romeo. Frankly, they should be in the mix more often. On a good day, they're as good as anyone in that midfield pack.
And they've certainly proved it today.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. So, Aiden, it's a great result for you here today. The team must be delighted with a solid points finish. How are you feeling?
So it's our first Meet the Press event then in Breaking Point. Slightly different camera angle here, over the shoulder on Aiden there. In terms of the question though, we're going to say it's a solid result, but there's always room for improvement. You know, we could go for even more maybe.
Yeah, I'm good. It's a solid result, but there's always room for improvement. I'm sure we'll be looking at all the data from today and working out how we can build on it for the rest of the season.
Well, it's such a great result, especially since it's your first season in Formula 1. Would you say you found your feet now since the jump to F1?
It was a cracking result, and I think we're going to go with the left-hand side option. The result today shows going to handle an F1 car just as well as an F2 one. That's very much, you know, proving ourselves. That's a very proving yourself sort of phrase, no matter what people say. People being Casper and maybe Devin sometimes.
I reckon so. I'd say the result today shows I can handle an F1 car just as well as an F2 one, no matter what people say. I think the team would agree with me.
So there's no current tensions within the team? We've all seen that you and Casper have locked horns so far this season. Is that something that's now behind you?
Since Casper gave us the cold shoulder, I'm not going to go with no comment, because that's kind of, you know, backing out of it. I'm going to say if there's still a problem between us, it's not from me, because we tried to apologise to him after China, and he wanted nothing of it. So that's on him now for not, you know, dealing with it. So I'm going to say it's not me, it's just him now.
Well, that's up to Casper. Maybe he thinks I'm yet to prove myself. Who knows? Hopefully today's gone some way to doing that. If there is still a problem between us, it's not from me.
Appreciate your time.
I think we did a pretty decent job there in our first press event in Breaking Point, to be honest. But Chapter 3, there we go. Jackson put in a solid performance at the French Grand Prix to firmly cement Alfa Romeo as a contender in the crowded midfield pack of the F1 grid, much to the delight of the team's management and fans. The French Grand Prix post-race. So, solid stuff there. Very much taking on what Devin said, even though it annoys me to say it. It was good advice and was, you know, good of Devin to kind of say that. But, oh, Mum's calling us again. He just wants to call us all the time.
Hey, Mum.
Hello, love. Just calling to say well done, as usual. You okay?
Thanks, Mum. Yeah, I'm good. Real good. I think I delivered today.
I thought so. And I think the neighbors probably did too. I couldn't stop shouting.
Oh, not again.
I'm so proud of you, Aiden.
Hey, it's Silverstone soon.
So does that mean you'll be home for a few days?
Probably. I'll try and get over for a day or two, either side of race weekend.
You know, Silverstone was always your dad's favorite track.
I know. You're still coming to the race, right?
Do you really think I'd miss out on the VIP treatment? Of course I'm coming. I just wish it wasn't on my own, you know?
Yeah, I know, but I'll be there. And I can't wait to see you.
Me too. Anyway, I won't keep you. I imagine you want to go and celebrate. Well done again. Love you.
Love you too, Mum. Speak soon.
Oh man, so I guess maybe Aiden's dad passed away or something in previous years, because that was a bit sad. That was quite touching. Well, the home Grand Prix next. Yeah, hopefully we can do Aiden's mum proud at his home race, and we'll bring her to the paddock and give her the full VIP treatment there. But yeah, touching stuff. That's got me in the feels a bit. The way she was like, it's you know, just a shame that it's on my own. Just yeah. Well, we'll put on a good show for her hopefully, and have a good home Grand Prix. But we've got some emails now. Hey Aiden, tough race out there today, but seriously well done, finishing in the points. Nice one. Meant to say the debrief about something. We'll just move past that. Brian Doyle, about the interview with Claire. Just want to be more careful when discussing how things are with Casper, because no things are tricky, but putting it all on Casper raises eyebrows and gets the press talking. Okay, so we're getting a slap on the wrist from Brian about the way we answered the question there, about it's all on him. It's not too good for the image of the team, so we need to be a bit more diplomatic next time. I don't know if it's possible to get in, like, hot water or whatever, but, okay, we need to watch out for that a little bit. With it, and maybe not put all the blame on Casper and be a bit more, as Brian says, diplomatic is the word. And he forgot to mention Trackside a couple of weeks ago. I had a great time doing it. Colin's the same guy that we said we didn't want to do an interview with, and Brian just given him our email address, and he should say, you can thank me later. Well, Brian, I think there was a reason why Aiden didn't want to maybe do the interview, and you've now just given him our email. Good. Thank you for that. Love the work from you. Good stuff. But anyway, moving away from random, weird, creepy interview people. Chapter number 4 then. With Alfa Romeo continuing to show signs of improvement, the F1 world turned its eyes to Silverstone. A real test for rookie Aiden Jackson as he returns home with hopes of impressing the crowd and earning their support at the historic circuit. 2 weeks later at the British Grand Prix.
Hello?
Hello, mate.
Who is this?
Oh, come on, keep up. It's Devon.
Butler?
The very same.
How did you get this number?
It doesn't really matter. Listen. I just wanted to pass on a bit of friendly advice.
Oh.
Now, it's always tricky racing on your home track. The pressure, all the fans watching, it's a nightmare.
Right, yeah, I imagine it is.
But if you keep your cool, you stay focused, you will get through it, okay? Just imagine it's a different circuit on the other side of the planet. Then, when your race does fall apart, it'll be a lot easier to deal with.
Yeah, great advice.
I knew you'd think so. Anyway, good luck out there today. Just try and make it to the end, eh? Ta-ta!
Yeah, good luck to you too. I'll see you later.
He actually pisses me off so much. That ending bit. Try not to try and make it to the end, yeah? Ta-ta. Yeah, he's just so punchable. He's just so... And he was that sarcasm and the lull of false sense of security. Like, oh, he's going to give us some advice, is he? And then it's about not making it to the end. Or, oh, when you do crash, then it's fine. Oh, God. Okay. We had enough of being like, oh, Devon's doing us a favour by telling us about Ackerman. I'm now back in the firm camp of, I hate the guy. No, he's not giving us good advice. I just now want to beat him as much as I want to beat Casper Ackerman, to be honest. And hopefully we can, being the home Grand Prix. But, yeah, wasn't expecting that random call. I didn't really know who that was going to be for the unknown caller. But I guess, yeah, Devon is full of surprises. But we've got some emails then ahead of the British Grand Prix. Just a quick head up. A couple of the magazines have booked in casual interviews with you post-race. Clearly because it's your home circuit and Silverstone's 70th. Trying to pass on to your PA, but couldn't find anywhere. Sent her the details, thought it'd be way just so we're covered. Okay, good luck out there today. And remember, just stay focused. Yeah, enjoy every second, but stay focused. Yeah, we will. We will, Brian. Don't worry about that. We will be fully focused in beating Devon and Ackerman as well, both of them. There's no room for prisoners. But weather forecast going to be dry, so that's a surprise to be honest, being the British Grand Prix. And then our PA has said, just letting you know that she's here and being well looked after. I'm with your mum. Okay, cool. Oh, sweet. Oh, nice one. Send me a message after the race. I'll bring her around to the paddock. Drive safe. See, that's awesome. I like the little, backstory going on here. We're getting our mum to the Grand Prix and stuff. Our PA sorting it. That's cool. And then, oh god, here's Colin Perry. Colin Perry, got your email address from Brian Doyle. Thanks, Brian. Thanks a lot. Colin Perry from Trackside. He wants an interview. He's had one with Brian and Casper. So he wants to do one with us. I feel like there's a reason why this is coming up on an email. Like, surely maybe if we ever do this interview, it might be, like, bad. Like, we might say something we might regret or something for the story or something like that. I don't know. But I feel like there's a reason why they're showing it to us in the emails. I'm not too sure. But, yeah. So at some point, maybe Colin's going to badger us enough that we do an interview. But we're going to move on then to the heart of Chapter 4 here then. Capitalizing on a fantastic Q3. Oh, okay. Aiden Jackson is enjoying one of his finest career performances when a front right puncher threatens to ruin his chances of a top 5 finish with friends and family in the stands and the crowd behind him. Jackson sets his sights on salvaging what he can from the race. British Grand Prix mid-race. So it looks like we're going to do some damage control then. God, Aiden can't get any good luck, just like I can't, or couldn't get in my home race on F1 2020 here. He's now getting on F1 2021. Right, let's dive in and see what we can do then about this puncher.
Tyres are gone.
Copy, Aiden. Box.
Copy.
Let's just minimise the damage.
7 laps to go. We're on the medium tyre and we've got a puncher on the front right, so that must mean we're going onto a set of soft tyres then to the end of this one. So we're doing an alternative strategy and we got through into Q3 then on the mediums, I guess. So we did very well, but now the tyre is completely gone off the wall, the side wall, and the whole carcass is completely broken down. Obviously, we know that there's a new damage model now in the game for punches and the kind of delamination and all that stuff, and so that is a very good example of it in full force here. So very, very cool to see, but not so much for our performance and where we are now, because lap 7 on to 8 then, I think, or no, it's lap 7 now. We're at lap 6 on to 7, and we're down to, well, now P9. We were running pretty high, and now with the pit stop onto soft tyres, and we're down to P10, P11, maybe even more, because there's still Albon to go. Oh no, there's so many more cars. Ackerman, it's also one of the slowest pit lanes on the calendar as well, and we're down to P16. Wow, that is painful. That is so painful. But our objective then, updated from before, it's now finish in the points-paying positions, 10th place or above. So we've got some work to do, but also at the same time, we're on fresh soft tyres and everyone else is on medium. So we should be pretty quick and try and limit the damage of the puncher, well, as much as you can do, really. I mean, we're not going to get back to where we were in that lofty high. That'll be a miracle and a half, but we can try at least to get some points then in this race for Aiden. Maybe come back and beat Ackerman because he's ahead of us as we now make a very punchy move on Pierre Gasly to the inside of the AlphaTauri. You know, also, I must add, it's so, you know, it's just fitting that that Devin Butler in this version of Breaking Point of ours, that he's been put in the AlphaTauri team. Not only one, because, as I said in the last episode, on F1 2019, when we had Butler in the career mode, he ended up in Red Bull in that final season, so it's almost like it's canon in the story that he's, you know, AlphaTauri to Red Bull, quite funny enough on my channel, but also the fact that he's alongside Gasly, my personal kind of rival from the F1 games of previous years. They're both in the same team, so we've got double trouble in the AlphaTauri team. But we overtook Ricciardo with ease then in the Renault, up into P14, closing up to Vettel, and then Ackerman on the mediums compound tyre. So let's hope we can try and close up and overtake our teammate at least and come back through for being the lead man at our home Grand Prix in the team of Alfa Romeo. Purple first sector, closing up onto Vettel through Magnussen Beckett's DRS, going to be available, going to use plenty of overtake mode. Vettel might try and close up a little bit on Casper, but can we try and make the move before he does on our teammate? Can't quite make it then that straight, but be patient and just wait for it to come to us. Here we go. Vettel defensive on the inside. We go diving round on the outside line to the inside for the next right-hander, and we're up into P13 then. Good exit on through the last corner. Can we get a good run into Village maybe as we set the fast lap of the Grand Prix? So we are the fastest man out here. I think we're the only man actually as it stands on the soft compound. Everyone's either on hards or mediums. And we've only got 4 laps, though, to go to get P10. Where is P10? We've got Albon, P11. So P10. Oh, P10 would be Butler. I think that's the AlphaTauri. How poetic. Butler's going to be the man we need to overtake for P10 then, get back in the points. But here we go on Ackerman. He went a little bit defensive there on the inside. Casper did, but we're going to get him to the inside as we're going towards the left field. No, he's still there. He's still giving us a good run. He dives to the inside there. We're going to go wide a little bit, lock up on the front right tyre to give him the space and give him some respect that he maybe doesn't deserve from us. Maybe, I don't know, however you want to kind of see it. But we overtake him eventually then and get the job done on the exit of left field towards the old turn 1. And now we've got 2.7 widen the gap to Albon to push ahead and try and catch up to him. And then it is Devon Butler is the next man along that we're looking to overtake for P10. So very, very fitting. DRS open. Albon looking to overtake the AlphaTauri. Maybe he goes for the move there. We're going to see Albon v Butler. Red Bull v AlphaTauri. But now can we try and get in the middle of this and maybe catch one of them napping? Butler, there we go. Close jinx to the right. We're going to squeeze Devon to the inside. Go for the move on Albon. Doesn't quite work. Oh, Butler makes contact with Albon. We get out of the way. We're going to get pinched in by those two drivers. We backed out of that, but Butler survives and still is there in P11. So here we go now on Devon. Can we go to the inside? Bit of ERS usage. Inside of turn one. No, not quite. Didn't get the nose in because I could just see us spinning out on his inside there. But here we go. Lunge to the inside of Village. This is a cracking battle with Devon as he is still there on the inside. We go for this switchback move right to left, but he blocks us and he makes contact with us. We're going to squeeze him out, and Butler getting a bit feisty, and eventually we get the move done. But what a personal battle that became with Butler. You could feel the tension there, and it got a bit over the line with some contact made on the exit there. We tried to go for the switch, and he just simply parked it on the apex and didn't let us switch from right to left. But now here we are then released, and we can go after Albon. We fade to the left, go to right on the outside. Easy does it, roll the car through. And we're going to get up into P10, and that is going to be 1 point at the home Grand Prix, but it's going to be better than nothing. Like I said, it's not exactly making up for, you know, being where we were and then getting the punch here, but at least we're going to get something. We were quite close to actually catching Perez, but not quite. So it's going to be P10 then, and a decent enough recovery at the home race.
What a race for young Aiden Jackson. If he can keep this up, he's got a long, promising career in front of him.
Absolutely. He'd have been gutted about that puncture. Imagine what kind of challenge he'd have been able to make without it. You've got to give it to him though. He gritted his teeth and pulled it back. Great driving.
Now whisper it quietly, but things seem to be on the up for Alfa Romeo's Aiden Jackson. One to watch. After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team. And they certainly deserve it.
So, towards the end of Chapter 4 then, despite suffering a puncture mid-race, Jackson manages to overcome the odds, securing brilliant points finish for Alfa Romeo at the British Grand Prix post-race. So, yeah, in terms of proving ourselves, I mean, we did it in France, and we've done it again here at Silverstone, I think. You know, got unlucky, but, you know, you got to work with what you got, and what we got was a puncture, and not too bad to P10, not too bad to P10. And this time, it's not actually our mum calling us this time, it's Brian.
Brian.
Well, someone's the hot topic in the press room.
What do you mean?
Oh, come on. There's no need to be so modest.
What are you on about, Brian?
Well, after that puncture, everyone thought you'd lost it. But to pull it back and into the points, it's all anyone's talking about.
Well, I'm glad the press are starting to take notice.
Oh, get used to it. They put a bunch of interviews in your diary for tomorrow. It's why I was calling.
Right. Thanks for letting me know.
So don't celebrate too hard tonight, eh?
Yeah, all right, Brian. Don't worry. I'm only going to see my mum.
Right. Well, each to their own.
See you later, Brian.
The way he went, all right. He wasn't impressed. He wasn't impressed. But I guess that's just Aiden's character. Aiden definitely seems like a vanilla kind of man. Very much not me. Like, I would definitely go and party and have a good time. But he's like, oh, I'll have a glass of milk, go back home to my mum, and just have a nice time at home, basically. And so Chapter 5 begins. We've just proven ourselves there with Aiden in the last part and the last two races we've done at the French and British Grand Prix. Now we move on to the next chapter. While the grid heads to Monza, the team at Alfa Romeo have managed to find some welcome consistency during the second half of 2020. Both drivers are hungry to gain ground in the competition, but Aiden Jackson is determined to outperform his teammate Casper Ackermann, both in the standings and in the eyes of the team.
I'm not sure if it's something to do with the energy storage. I'm losing power on the straights.
Right. And you said the acceleration was okay? I'll take a look at it. And how are we today, chaps? Everything running smoothly, I hope.
All right, Brian. Yeah, we're just going through a few last-minute tweaks.
Ah, that's what I like to see. With dedication like that, maybe you'll be able to get us back a few more of those points, eh?
Yeah, I'll try.
Actually, Aiden, I'm glad I've caught up with you. Thought you might like to know. I had a call this morning from Mattia Binotto. Mentioned you directly.
Oh.
I think they're sniffing around for next season. You're being watched.
So, no pressure then?
So, what's the problem with the car?
I'm losing power on the straights. It's not a massive issue. I'm sure we can deal with it.
Yeah, theoretically, do we have time to install the Spec 2 unit before the race?
Yes, boss.
And Casper's reporting no problems?
No.
Okay. Let's do it. Put the Spec 2 in Aiden's, would you?
Well, that would sort it. I mean, if you're sure.
Of course. You could do with a little boost. A little boost. Besides, anything for our star driver. Casper, how are you today? Feeling good about the race?
Holy hell. Anything but for our star driver. That is the infamous line we've heard ever since the teaser trailer of this game and story. And I thought the entire time that was going to be for our teammate, for Ackerman. I thought we were going to be... Are we the bad guys? Are we the one being given all the treatment? It seems so. Brian there being very cheeky and Ackerman not being too pleased for obvious reasons. But that is a curveball now in this story with how I'm viewing this.
Brian.
Aiden, I'm glad I've called you. Listen, don't worry about Casper.
Let me stop you there. Brian, Casper's the furthest thing from my mind right now. I've got a race to focus on.
Good man. In the garage just now, that was my fault. I know how he can be.
What, childish? Self-centered? I'm sick of it, Brian. He's been on my case ever since I joined the team. He needs to grow up.
Okay. You just leave Casper to me and get your head in the race. Let's put that new power unit to good use, eh?
Sure thing, Brian. See you on the other side.
I don't know how to actually feel, you know. This is just taking a different turn. We had a turn before when Devin Butler was giving us some advice and kind of became almost a good guy for us and spurring us on, and that worked. Last episode we stormed through France and the British Grand Prix with the puncher, but now we're being put out as the bad guy, at least in terms of, like, you know, we're getting the preferential treatment here. Obviously, we're still playing as Aiden, we're the main guy, so you know, at the same time, also we've had the result, so we do deserve to get, you know, a new power unit, for example, into Italy. But even there with the phone call with Brian, Aiden being quite, you know, harsh with Casper, saying he's being quite childish. Obviously, you know, anyone would be a bit disgruntled if you're not going to get a new power unit, but obviously, yeah, I guess Casper could go about it in a nicer way for sure and stop being kind of, you know, stropping around and whatnot in the garage like he was in the cutscene. But okay, this is a different side to Aiden we're seeing. The man we're driving as, and a different side to Brian as well, because who knew Brian was so cheeky? I thought he was going to be everyone's kind of best mate, but, you know, kind of clearly sees that Aiden is the number one here, that we are the kind of future here with Alfa Romeo, and we're the one doing the business, and he's given us a little cheeky, better treatment there. But we've got a bit of change of plan according to our PA, so they're now doing an interview before the photo shoot tomorrow. This means you should probably try on what they sent over tonight. They'll definitely be asking you about what they thought about the collection, so make sure everything's in your hotel room, laid out and ready to go. Also, Colin Perry from Trackside's been hassling us again, wondering I'm wondering if we should just bite the bullet and do the interview. For some reason, I get a bad feeling about this Colin Perry interview. Like, it's coming up too often in the emails for me to think, like, if we take it, is that going to trigger a cutscene and whatnot where, you know, we've said something wrong? And then just another little tidbit there from our PA giving us the lifestyle of Formula 1 driver, of, you know, having to do these shoots and interviews and having to wear certain things before you talk about them and all the usual sponsor and PR stuff. And we've got Colin Perry asking once again for the interview. So he's being very persistent. He's the head F1 columnist, to be fair, of Trackside. So, you know, it may not be that bad, but at the same time, I feel like there's maybe a reason why they may be showing it to us so often in the emails, but maybe not. I don't know. But, yeah, very interesting dynamic then going into this Italian Grand Prix. We've got Jackson looking to take full advantage of his car's new power unit, and to the vexation of his teammate, Casper Ackerman. With the grid set, his focus locked in, Jackson is eager to show Ackerman why Alfa Romeo signed him. Italian Grand Prix, race day.
The tension is building here at the circuit as the start of today's Formula One Grand Prix draws ever nearer. What drama awaits us between now and the checkered flag? Well, we'll find out in just a few moments' time. With top speeds up to 215 miles per hour and an average lap speed of around 155 miles per hour, Monza's reputation as one of the fastest circuits in the sport is well earned. We have 11 corners on this 3.6 mile track, with the best overtaking chance coming into the heavy braking zone of the Turn 1 chicane. Here we are then, Monza, the 90th time this event has been held, so a special year for F1 fans, particularly the Italians, who are rightly proud of this event and its heritage.
Yeah, it always feels a bit special here, doesn't it, Crofty? Hamilton holds the joint record with Schumacher for number of wins here at 5 apiece, but could snatch it outright today with a 6.
Nearly 100 years of history here, so let's see what this year holds in store for the Italian Grand Prix. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Ackermann, Carlos Sainz and Perez, Norris, Ricciardo, Stroll and Alexander Albon, Ocon, Leclerc, Pierre Gasly and Butler, Vettel, Grosjean, George Russell and Aiden Jackson, Magnussen and Nicholas Latifi. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Right, let's see if we can squeeze some performance out of this new power unit. Good luck out there today.
So despite the new power unit, I'm guessing we had a mistake in qualifying or something or other, or we've got such a powerful power unit that we didn't think we need to qualify that well, but we qualified in P18, so we've got all the work to do to show off the new power unit we've got. I'm actually curious to see if it actually feels like we've got more power than Ackermann, or just like other cars around us maybe. I kind of hope there will be, because obviously otherwise we're not going to actually be going too far up the order then from P18, but, you know, that is the name of the game. To beat Ackermann, I guess, is the objective here today. It's going to be a usual 25% race like we had last time in the last part with the French Grand Prix, where they're, you know, instead of going mid-race and giving us a very, you know, small scenario, this is for us to take ownership of the entire race and do the business for Jackson, basically. But we're going to start on the soft compound, of course, then pit around, you know, lap 6 or 7 onto a set of medium tyres. Fuel will lower down, but it's just all full steam ahead then, I guess. And it's time to go out there for the Italian Grand Prix. Our only objective today is to beat Ackermann as we go to 5 red lights to the Italian Grand Prix here in 2020 in the Breaking Point storyline. And let's see what we can do with this new power unit. It's been a pretty okay start, getting penned in a little bit with Romain Grosjean and Sebastian Vettel in the Ferrari. Easy does it. Bit of a traffic jam into turn 1. Devin Butler in the AlphaTauri there alongside Sebastian Vettel. We go defensive and have to actually try and re-overtake Grosjean in the Haas. So already not too great in the first corner. We've got plenty of time, 13 laps to go. Let's see how this goes. Having to deploy ERS all the way down this Curva Grande, and Grosjean being very aggressive there with the defense and jockeying for position. But we get up into P16 and we can focus on Sebastian Vettel, who's being penned in a bit by Butler. Tried to go down the inside. Butler defending the inside line and compromise Sebastian's line. And we have a really great exit through Ascari section towards Parabolica. Bit of ERS usage, squeezing Vettel all the way to the right, getting boxed in with Butler. Around the outside we go of the German, and then can we try and get a good run and get on the back of Devin Butler. Now, of course, he may have given us some advice, he may have spurred us on, but that doesn't mean we're still going to race him hard and fair enough and squeeze him towards the right-hand side to try and get the move. But Vettel's coming through. It's 3 wide into turn 1. Look at this. Vettel comes back at us. We're down the inside. Butler outbrakes us, and he's actually managed to maintain the position there. So Butler actually going... I may have not been harsh enough on Butler into turn 1 there. Maybe should have really squeezed him in, because he used the inside line to have a go on his teammate Pierre Gasly. We got Vettel at least up into P15, but Butler storming away then, having a go at Gasly round the outside. The two AlphaTauri teammates, easy does it, and Gasly will get squeezed out. We get a good exit, switch from left to right onto the racing line into the inside line here through the right-hander, and just going to let the car roll through onto the left-hand side of the circuit and get up into P14. And now it is the second AlphaTauri. Butler, second bite of the cherry here. No DRS yet, just DRS, but it's the second time now to try and actually overtake him and get the move done. This time we bang tyres, being a bit over-aggressive for good reason with Butler, and this time we give him no room to work with. Get banged on, mate. Get squeezed out. Up into P13, and now we've got clean air to chase after Leclerc, and then we've got, well, Ackerman is up in P6. He qualified so high, so we needed this new power unit to chase after him from P18 on the grid. But at the moment, looking at Leclerc, he goes defensive in the Ferrari. Obviously, Ferrari did not do well at all in real life in 2020, so kind of makes sense for them to be a little bit slow and sluggish here versus ourselves. And can we try and get on them? Obviously, you've got to remember, this is a storyline. It's a different alternate story. So here, the Alfa Romeo, it's a pretty decent car, especially with our new power unit. It's looking likely we're aiming for a top 5 finish here at Monza as we go down the inside, and we've got Leclerc, and now we're getting on the back of Daniel Ricciardo. A little bit of a jink at the steering wheel as we have to try and compose our rear end there over the Ascari curbs. Obviously on this game on F1 2021, the new curbs are quite deadly, and you know, it's the first time we've done Italy. Actually, I've done Italy in Breaking Point before I've done it in my team here, so we're kind of sussing out how the tracks are for the very first time, but trying to close up on Ricciardo now using plenty of ERS. DRS will be available to us as well as Ricciardo though, but let's try and see what we can do in the slipstream. Ricciardo goes defensive to the inside line. Good to see from the AI there, but we go around the outside. Easy does it though, as Albon is there. Have a little, had a brief think about trying to dive bomb Albon into turn 2, but thought better of it. But we get Ricciardo and we're up into P11. Albon is the next man then. Ackerman's still in P6. I can see on the minimap, I think he's in a little train, you know. I think he's just behind a McLaren, it looks like, I think, just up the road. Yes, he is. I think second man in that train up the road. So he's kind of penned in a bit, so hopefully he doesn't make any more progress. And Albon has had a shocking exit off that right-hander, and we absolutely do him into the next right-hander, up into P10 points man positions, but it doesn't matter where we are position-wise. We're just looking to beat Casper. So here we are then again, second bite of DRS now on this same lap. Opening, going, trying to go left. Ocon is really parking his car very awkwardly. We then finally go to the inside. I was having to look around the outside, but then in the end, Ocon actually decided, no, I'm going to actually take the outside line. So I just ducked to the inside there, and we'll get him into P9. End of lap 6 onto 7 now. So we're getting on towards that new pit stop window, going quite long on the soft compound tyre. So the tyre wear, at least in the 25% race, is quite low. It'll be interesting to see what it is in my team then when we get to it in career mode. But now looking to get Lance Stroll in the racing point as it is in 2020 in this part of the story. And we're up into P8, very close on the left-hand side of the grass, but managed to just keep it out there and keep the momentum going. And now, can we get Perez actually, you know, through into the right-hander? No, I thought better of it. I had a little thought. You saw I had a little thought of it, but now instead, going to get him on the exit. DRS open, ERS usage. No, not too bad, actually. 52%. We could probably use a little bit more, to be honest, but we're going to just keep it going with DRS and get up into P7. And then, as we catch up to Ackerman, we actually come into the pit for our pit stop. So we're going to try and undercut Casper if we can, because, you know, on the previous F1 game, the undercut was always very, very strong around Italy, kind of like it is in real life as well. So let's see if we can do that and then just jump Ackerman just through strategy, really, which I guess, I don't know, to be fair, I would kind of rather pass him on circuit. You guys know me. Strategic passing's all nice and good, but it's kind of nice to have a nice battle on circuit and have the satisfaction in passing them on track. But you got to do what you got to do, and the timing was perfect there, to be fair, in terms of we caught up to Casper, and you know he was going to pit on that next lap, so I didn't want to get boxed in. And so here we are then, we're defending against Ricciardo actually, and we get very close to Ackerman on the right-hand side as he comes out the pit lane, but we are past him up into, at the moment it's P12, but I think there's a couple of people yet to pit in this Grand Prix then, but we come out behind Leclerc then, despite having overtaken him. So we got the undercut on Casper, but we got overcut by Leclerc. So very, very weird stuff there. We have to try and re-overtake the Ferrari. Couldn't quite do it on the left hand, so have to be patient and wait later on. But we've got the job done, got the objective done. It's now all about how high we can go with this Alfa Romeo and can we get some higher glory for Aiden Jackson. We just missed out on a podium at the French Grand Prix, so I wonder, could we aim for a podium here? That would be quite something. Obviously, Alfa Romeo, Italian brand. It would be very, very nice to get to the podium here at the Italian Grand Prix, and in a race where we have the better power unit. And in terms of, kind of sticking it to the man, sticking it to Casper, we've already dug it in having the new power unit. We're already ahead of him. We can now rub it in even more if we get a podium. Like, I dread to think what he's going to be thinking if we go on to get a podium. Right now, Leclerc comes back at us, but we're going to try and dive bomb Esteban Ocon in the Renault. Just about miss Lance Stroll narrowly, but we've been overtaken by Stroll then. I'm pretty sure we got ahead of him before, so we've been the overcut. It's actually worked really well for a lot of these guys then. So let's try and re-overtake Stroll and then get on the back of Lando Norris. Stroll hits the grass, and this time we do get the move on the inside. Couldn't quite get it on Perez before. Got it on Stroll now, and Perez is re-overtaking us. We have to try and get him again, and we're looking to get Lando Norris as well. He's on the hards, Perez on the mediums. A bit of a difference there in tyre compounds, but as we go through Ascari, nice left-hander, riding that curb like an absolute skateboard here. Little bit of wobble in the rear end, but it's fine. It's planted now in the ERS, climbing the gears now, trying to suss out where Norris is going to go. Where can we go? Do we dive down the inside? No, Norris moves to the inside. We make a bit of contact with Lando Norris. Is he not sure where he wants to go? He kind of just stayed in the middle, and that confused me. On the exit, though, here we go through Parabolica onto a brand new lap number 11. It's a drag race in a straight line. DRS open. Not quite got the speed, though, versus the McLaren. Want to save the ERS, so not using too much there and overusing it, but under braking, we can get Lando into turns 1 and 2, and we're up into P7. 4 positions away from a podium. I don't know, Albon P5, 6 and Perez 6. We can get those guys. Don't know about the podium, though. That may be a little bit too far away. Lewis Hamilton, though, wins the Grand Prix. And in the end of it, we can't actually even catch Perez and Albon because the laps have fallen away. The 25% race has come and gone in a flash. And we get P7 in the end. So not quite the podium, but we smashed Ackerman. I think he's out at the points now. And we've got our lucky number P7, my lucky number P7.
Well, quite the rivalry forming between the rookie Aiden Jackson and his veteran teammate Casper Ackerman.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of when Hamilton signed for McLaren back in 2007. And we all know how that one ended. Alonso returned to Renault pretty much the moment the season wrapped up.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that. So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot. A well-earned victory for Mercedes.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. So it's a decent result for you today with a finish in the points. How are you feeling, Aiden?
I have absolutely battered my teammate. That's how I'm feeling. But we've got a decent choice. It went well. Any points are points after all. A good result. But I feel there's room for improvement. I'm glad I could deliver for the team and be the one to come out on top ahead of Casper. Now, I would go for the bottom answer and kind of stick it to Casper. But also remember, in part 2, we had an email from a PR guy to say we need to maybe take it a little bit easy potentially. But I feel like we should just go for that because, screw it. We did smash him. That's what happened. And there's no other way to go about it, really. So, yeah.
I'm just glad I could deliver for the team. Casper and I are both trying to push ourselves as much as we can. So it can get a bit competitive. It is a good feeling to be the one coming out on top.
A big talking point, irrespective of today's results, is how you've improved overall throughout the season. What would you say to that?
We're now going to win over the team in case they're a little bit annoyed at maybe that answer and say, I couldn't do it without the support of the team. Yeah, they've been incredible. Obviously, we got the new engine, so that support's been incredible. Brian Doyle, my G, giving me the new power unit. So, yeah, we're going to go with that one. That may irk Casper even more, maybe. I don't know.
I couldn't do it without the support of the team. They've been incredible. I'm feeling looked after, and I couldn't ask for more. So any improvements are thanks to them.
It's funny you should mention the team as a whole. Can you give us an update? How is the current relationship between you and Casper Ackerman?
Okay, now on this one, I'm going to throw caution in the wind and go with the left one. We could go with the right, but we've already said that before, and we got an email from the PR guy. So let's just balance it out a bit and just go, we're fine, we're fine.
Look, driver relationships are always going to be tricky. Individually, you're always pushing yourselves, and that can cause friction. I can't let anything like that worry me. Besides, we're fine.
Appreciate your time.
So the tension is certainly heating up. We didn't get any fallout from that Italian Grand Prix then. We didn't kind of get to see if Casper was annoyed or what. I'm guessing he was. And we move into Chapter 6 then, 2 months later at the Mexican Grand Prix. With only a handful of races remaining in the season, time is running out for Alfa Romeo to secure the points needed to finish above their mid-pack rivals in the Constructors' Championship. A dip in form over the past few races has seen the team desperately hoping for a strong performance from both rookie Aiden Jackson and veteran Casper Ackerman. So 2 months have passed. I'm sure the tensions have risen even more between us, but we've had a few bad races as a team, so we need to kind of maybe put that aside, and this is the time where we just need to both do well. So if we're going to maybe meet Casper at some point in the race or whatever, I'm going to make sure we don't hinder him too much or whatever. Don't do anything funny. You know, we'll squeeze out Butler as per usual. But, you know, with him, it looks like where the team is, we need to both score well then at the Mexican Grand Prix. But let's take a phone call from our mother.
Mum?
Aiden, I'm here.
Oh, good. After that flight delay, I was starting to get concerned.
Don't worry. Everything's fine.
And they're looking after you?
Better than at Silverstone.
Good, because you were my lucky charm there, Mum. And I'm hoping you do the same here.
I'll try, love. Now just do what you do, and everything will be great.
I know. Mirror signal maneuver.
And always stick to the speed limit.
I'll try.
Have a great race, Aiden. I'll see you after.
I'm so pleased you're here, Mum. This one's for you, eh?
She is a full-blown corny mum, bringing that up again. And the fact that we now have to say that the phrase that she said about the whole buckling up and manoeuvre and that stuff. Like, come on, man. Don't buy into the motherly banter. You start doing that, then they think they're funny. It's that standard thing. You laugh at your dad's joke, your mum's joke. They think they're funny. They think they're the biggest comedian in the world. And that's just a problem. Anyway, moving that aside. Right, so we've got a mum here again for Mexico then. So we've flown her way out. But yeah, as Aiden said, hopefully she's the good luck charm here. But to all Alfa Romeo, Frederick Vasseur saying about pushing in the last few races. We've had ups and downs. Humbled every time to see creativity, I can't speak, and dedication that everyone brings to any challenge we face. As we head into the home straight, let's keep our hard work and vision strong and see if we can bring in some more points for the team. We will try and do our best, my guy. Read through your interview. Oh, so we did the interview trackside. Okay, so that just went... Okay, so I guess that wasn't actually... that was not a smaller thing than I thought it was going to be. So we've done it in the background then, the trackside interview, Colin Perry. And it was well done, well handled, with Claire as well. And Brian saying what a lovely guy he was, and I'm a good ambassador for the team. Well, there we go. We're getting pretty good at all this, Aiden. Good stuff, good stuff. We're a good ambassador for the team. We're clearly the star driver. Brian loves us. Frederick loves us. We're getting a better power unit. We're getting the preferential treatment, and the press love us, and it's all going our way. It's all swimmingly well, apart from the actual on-performance apart from the on-track performance, going into this one, clearly we need to do better. And obviously I couldn't control the races in between Italy or Mexico. If I had it my way, I think we'd be, you know, solid in the championship. But it is what it is. We're here. We're given what we are in this story. And so we move into the Mexican Grand Prix mid-race with only a handful of laps remaining. Alfa Romeo looking to both of its drivers for points in order to improve their position in the standings. So like I said, we need to both do well. So we meet Casper at some point on track. I'm going to try my best not to hinder him at all. No funny games. One last push is needed from Aiden Jackson, desperate to keep the pace with his teammate Casper Ackerman.
How's it feeling out there, Aiden?
Yeah, good. I think we can start to push a little. Where's Casper?
Ahead of you. Don't worry about Casper, Aiden. Let's just improve your current position.
Yeah, copy.
So it sounds like there we're feeling the heat a little bit. Aiden having to take a heavy breath here in Mexico, but he was very concerned where Ackerman was, but we're just going to try and get as many points as we can, I think. Obviously the objective, I think, is still to beat Ackerman or catch up to him, I think it said, by a certain lap, but we're just going to try and push hard and get as many points as we can as well. At the moment, Ackerman's in 8th place, so you'd kind of hope we can maybe improve on that. and, you know, get like a 7 or 8 or 6 or 8 or whatever to, you know, help ourselves in the championship. So we get past Lance Stroll with ease in Sector 3. That was previously on the last lap. Lap number 13 then closing up to Sebastian Vettel in a straight line, going for the dive on the inside. Vettel went a little bit close to us on the right and he makes some contact with him. He's still got his nose in. We go around the outside. We get the job done into turn 2, but a massive tank slapper and we almost put it in the wall in the grass. We made a mistake and we're down to P12 once again, and Vettel, with the experience and knowledge in between on his shoulders there, is just taking it calm and just let us make the mistake, and so we have to try and come back at him now. Vettel in the middle, awkward there, but big dive down the inside into the stadium section, bit awkward through the right-hander. We're up into P11, and now we catch up to Valtteri Bottas. Bottas, what are you doing here, mate? What's happened to you? P10, I mean, it's usual Bottas stuff, isn't it? Well, we're going to overtake Bottas then into turn 1, lap number 15, then 3 laps to go. Not too long till that. I think it was lap 16, was it? Did the objective say we have to catch up to Ackerman before? He's 2 cars ahead, so we need to push on then. Ricardo is up next. Then it's a McLaren, I think, of Norris, potentially. So let's push on and try and catch up to those 2. Ricardo, yes, it is Norris, the 2 current McLaren teammates, but Ricardo in the Renault right now here in 2020 Mexico. Purple first sector, good stuff, being held up a little bit though by Ricardo in the second, but we're just going to be patient, get the exit. Here we go, DRS open as well, ERS deploying down to single digits, 9%, so have to watch out for that, but we're easing it through into P9, now catching up to Norris and then Ackerman as well. And
it's clear from anyone watching either in the stands or at home the determination on show from Alfa Romeo and Aiden Jackson today.
No, you're not wrong there, and his performance has improved race by race throughout the season, and his driving today, impeccable. Here's a test for him now, though, as they head down the main straight. There's a lot of friction between these 2, and his teammates after him. Will he budge?
Hold position, Aiden.
Oh, I've never seen anything like this on a racetrack before. 2 teammates wheel to wheel.
Keep it clean.
Inches separating them and they crash. Oh, they've come together in spectacular style, and they're both out of the race.
Holy moly. Oh no. Oh no. I knew as soon as that breaking point music chime that's on the main menu started playing subtly behind, that it was going to be ropes. Disaster. With neither driver willing to concede the position, Jackson and Ackerman make contact heading to turn 1. Both cars sustain terminal damage, ending the race for Alfa Romeo pairing and shattering the team's dream of securing a top 5 position in the Constructors' Championship. Mexican Grand Prix, we're going to the post-race. Oh crap, this is not going to end well. We're going to get a bollocking. Brian is going to turn into not so nice guy anymore. Police say they're going to go fists up and have like a scrap in the paddock or something. We're going to find out in a bit, but okay, things are getting spicy. Oh, the aftermath. Oh, the music. I think things are about to kick off. Never a good sign when a driver doesn't take his helmet off. Means he's guilty. Alright, mate. No need to shake your head that much, mate. You're not involved. You're Brian. Oh, we're going to Brian's room. Oh, no.
Close the door. Sit down.
Ah, we're in trouble.
What the hell was going on out there? We've invested millions in you 2. Millions! And look at you both. Acting like a couple of school kids. You've got a lot to prove this year, boy. And you're swanning around like butter wouldn't melt. And as for you, you should know better. I'm disgusted. You should both be ashamed.
Brian,
Not a word. Not a single word. I should fire you both right here and now. You've screwed our chances this season. The team is bigger than you 2 and your petty squabbles. Grow up! Any more, and you're both out. Do you hear me? I'll finish the season behind the wheel myself if I have to. Both of you, jet out.
Well, that was a bollocking. And I've never seen Brian so pissed off. And to be fair, Casper doesn't look... I mean... that is frosty. That is frosty. And we are now... Oh, we're following Casper, you know. We're not going to follow Aiden. What's Casper got to say?
Go away.
Hey.
Oh, it's his wife.
Hey.
So,
okay.
What did he say?
Threatened to fire both of us.
He won't.
That's not the point.
I'll just leave you be.
Is Lily okay? Does she know I'm safe?
Yeah, she saw you climb out. She's fine. I left her with your mother.
Okay, good.
You've survived worse, you know?
Doesn't make it any easier.
Maybe not, but you're not hurt. And you have a family who'll love you. The rest are just details. I'll see you later.
She's right. She's right. You're safe and sound, man. A lot to think about, though, for Casper and Aiden, it would seem like. But okay, we saw his wife for the first time. We knew that she was going to be a character in the game. I was wondering when we were going to see her. But, okay. So, that was the first time, really, we saw anything about Casper as a character away from what we know from Aiden's perspective. And actually, you know what? We are actually now... We're in Ackerman's shoes. This is his motorhome, where you can see the follower name on the top, 1.2 million. So our veteran team at Ackerman is quite well known, it would seem, really big time in this kind of alternate universe of Formula 1. But we are now playing as him. We've got people like Lucas Weber tweeting about us, a little nod to the old F2 story mode, F1 2019 there, as well as we had one in my team as well. But, okay, so at the moment, we are in Ackerman's little F1 cooldown room. So I wonder is the next chapter, do we get to play for like Ackerman for like a chapter and kind of step into his shoes maybe? We've got emails from obviously Brian and Frederick, you know, about the whole meeting thing. And we've got an email from Lucas Weber. I hope you're okay. So relieved to see you walk it off, and I can only imagine what you're going through right now with the team. Stay strong, my friend. So, Lucas Weber apparently is a friend of Ackerman here. Cool. And like I said in the My Team Career Mode episode, part 2, lovely to see Lucas making a little cameo here in the story mode here as well in F1 2021, not just the My Team emails and personnel departments. And we've got immediate cancellations in light of the... Okay, they've cancelled some PR sessions. Okay, interesting. Very, very interesting, juicy chapter number 6. And it looks like we might be going... Well, we're going to the next season. So 2021, we're beginning the 2021 season next time out. Chapter number 7 then. It's 2021. A new season and the possibility of a fresh start for Casper Ackerman and Alfa Romeo. Following the unceremonious end to the team's chances in the 2020 season, both driver and team are looking to deliver a strong start at the season opener in Melbourne, Australian Grand Prix Q3. And it looks like for now, entering this new season and chapter, we are viewing the story from the viewpoint of Casper Ackerman. The other side of the coin is going to be shown, and we might just learn a few different things about Casper, his wife, his situation, that we maybe didn't know and appreciate from before.
Here we are then, another season of Formula 1 racing is upon us. Some teams confident following pre-season, whilst others still looking for answers. Let's see what the future holds for them as qualifying gets underway here in Melbourne. So, Aiden Jackson in 9th, but Alfa Romeo still hopeful that the youngster can secure a decent position. Let's see how he gets on here. Teammate Casper Ackerman didn't make it through to Q3, narrowly missing out by just
13 milliseconds. You did all you could. If I went out second today, I would have those 13 milliseconds back, no problem. Why do they keep sending me out first?
11th isn't the end of the world, Casper. You'll make those places back.
Yeah, for sure. I shouldn't have to.
we've only really seen, you know, 2 small moments with Casper so far. Just then, and also obviously the aftermath of the crash and incident last season in Chapter 6. But already you can kind of, you know, you can start to see why from his side it's frustrating. You know, he is the veteran here in the team, a Formula 1 legend in this different alternate universe of Formula 1. And he's being treated like a second-class person here in the team to a youngster. So already I think we're all gonna maybe appreciate him in a different light and maybe not be so harsh on him. But let's see. We've got his wife Zoe calling us, who seems to be a very lovely character.
Zoe, hey.
Morning, Daddy.
Lily, you know it's not morning where Daddy is, right?
Mummy says you're on the other side of the world.
That's right. Daddy is in Australia. I'm upside down.
Then why don't the cars fall off?
Mommy can explain that. Can I speak to her?
Don't fall off, Daddy.
I won't, Lily. Promise.
Hey, qualifying not so good, huh?
They sent me out first.
Again?
Yeah.
Well, some of your best races were coming from midfield.
Yeah?
Yeah. Besides, I thought you loved a challenge. Lils, off the table. Now. It's breakfast time. I should go.
Sure.
You'll be great. You always are. Love ya.
Love you too.
You know what? I'm already a big fan of Zoe. She seems like a cracking character. Bigging us up, you know, and that was, I'm not gonna lie, a bit, that was heartwarming. That was really nice. Also with his daughter as well. That was already, you know, Casper, the, you know, seemingly bad guy to us as Aiden, as we play through in the first 3 parts there of the series. You know, he's been the bad guy up till now, but now they're humanizing him. They're, you know, showing us the other side. You know, he's his own person. He's got his own issues, his own family, his own thing, just like Aiden did. And I really, honestly, I got to break the fourth wall here and just talk about the game and the story. I really rate this from Cody. He's really good. This is awesome. This reminds me of The Last of Us 2, where they switched it up halfway through and made you play as the character that most of the fan base playing the game hated for so much of the first half of the game. And then they just switched it and made you play as them. And this is it. I think we're going to be playing as Casper now, because we're not switching away from his motorhome here. We're hearing, you know, from his wife, his kids. So I think we, at least for this next chapter here, are playing as Casper for the first part of the season. Maybe we'll switch back to Aiden later. But at the moment, from what I'm seeing, I kind of feel bad almost for bad-mouthing him a little bit in previous episodes, because he seems like a lovely guy. Obviously, it's always a weird situation in Formula 1 where it just happens. It always happens. The new guard, the changing of the guard, but it doesn't mean when the new guard comes in that the old guard is still not, you know, they still deserve the respect, and they still are, you know, people in the day that have their own things going on, their own demons and their own situations. And I guess we're going to find that out a bit in terms of how it feels to be that older guard being pushed out, being given the second treatment here, because Chapter 7 gets into now the Australian Grand Prix mid-race with tensions from last year looking set to continue into this season. Casper Ackerman pushes onwards during the inaugural race of the 2021 championship.
Something's not right.
Understood, Casper. We're on it.
It's the gearbox. I lost the gear.
Push on, Casper. We're assessing. Just push on best you can.
That's right.
You have got to be kidding me. This man gets no luck. Finished the race whilst managing the fault. We've got a missing gear. I think we're missing 7th gear. So, yeah, to be fair, out of all the gears to miss around Australia, not too bad. So, off the back of last season, tension's a bit still very much there after being given the second treatment quali. And now we've got an issue here. It just keeps pouring down.
Okay, bad news on the gearbox. The team are trying everything they can think of, but they're not optimistic. Just keep at it. Do your best. That's all we can ask.
That's all we can ask. That's all they can ask. It really is. When it rains, it really does pour for Casper Ackerman, it would seem, in this story mode so far. So, 2021 season, welcome, Australian Grand Prix. And what a welcome indeed, having to do the rest of this race with a missing gear. We try our best. And, you know, to be honest, in the cockpit, it's a weird one to think about doing my best driving as Casper now, because we've, you know, this whole time we've been pushing with Aiden, trying to one-up him. We had to prove ourselves and kind of, you know, stick it to Casper and everyone to show how good we were as Aiden Jackson. And now we're being asked, and we have to try and do the best job we can now for Casper's sake here in this story, playing as him. So we move on then, trying to maybe still find some pace in the car. You can see the lack of 7th gear is just a bit awkward sometimes when you're trying to move the car at a high speed kind of area. But lower speed, we've got all the gears there still, so we've still got a pretty quick car underneath us. Obviously, remember, the Alfa Romeo here in this alternate universe of Formula 1 is definitely a lot quicker than the Alfa Romeo we know in real life. So you've got to take everything with that kind of understanding of how the storyline works in the alternate F1 universe we've got here. So to that effect, we're catching Lance Stroll, and despite having a lack of 7th gear, still finding the speed, obviously, in 8th gear. Eventually, the speed gets there, and we're able to overtake him with some DRS8. Little bit of contact made there, but we're up into now P10. It's lap number 12, so we've got 3 laps to go after this one. So, and Jackson's P8 there, you can see in the top left, so he's not too far away. We actually might be able to do a stonking effort. We are P11 on the grid, out-qualified by Jackson, got let out later than him, and with a gearbox issue, we could still maybe try and fight back and show that we've still got some speed in ourselves, and that Casper Ackerman is maybe not going to take this 2021 season sitting down here and make his own bit of luck, as we now go and chase after Fernando Alonso in the Alpine car. DRS open here, bit of ERS to help us and jump us up into that 8th gear speed after missing 7th, and we're up into P9, and the next man up is Aiden Jackson. We're on the soft compound as well, alternative strategy we've taken, and Jackson is on the mediums, worn out mediums. Obviously our softs will be a bit worn, but we are catching him at a rate of knots here, and on lap number 13 into 14 in the last sector, we are here, and we're going to set ourselves up for maybe another DRS pass. Deja vu here. 3 times we've caught someone in this same spot, but this time things are a little bit different. Things might be a bit more personal, because it's our teammate Aiden Jackson, the new guard. We are now driving as the old guard. What's it going to be here? On to lap number 14. DRS open, using the ERS to boost up. It's very close on the left-hand side. We're squeezing Aiden into the left-hand side, but we get the move done down the inside, and we are ahead of Jackson, despite having 1 less gear on our wagon, with the soft compound, the alternate strategy working out, and despite being lower down on the grid, we've done it. We can now move on then to the end of the Grand Prix, and we're going to see Max Verstappen winning this one then, with a bit of a quicker car under him in the Red Bull this year in 2021, and we're going to come home in P8, and this is going to be quite a drive, I think, really showing that, you know, this season here, we've still got some stuff left on the table. The tensions might still be there, but we have come out on top here versus Aiden Jackson. It's 1-0 in the 2021 season as I see it. But at the same time, obviously, we still did get the second treatment, so, you know, no matter what we do, will it be enough for the team to favour us anymore?
So as they climb out of the car, the Red Bull team are ready and waiting to celebrate a thoroughly well-deserved win. Well, what's happened there to Casper Ackerman? Still managed to finish, but that's got to be frustrating, Ant.
Yeah, looks like maybe it was a gearbox fault, which is always a blow for the driver. Ackerman won't be happy, but I'd say he's done very well in the circumstances.
Well, this isn't the start he would have wanted after last season. Let's hope things pick up for him. Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves.
Bad luck out there today. Let's talk about it. So, not a great race out there for you today, Casper. Can you talk us through what happened?
Well, what happened with Casper today was none of his fault. The gearbox just broke. He was then out later, so he qualified lower, and he had to make the best of it, basically. So, you know, I think in this moment, I think it would be fair to say Casper would... I'm going to go for... I'm angry, you know, to have all that preparation, you know, and it was a vehicle fault. And it seems like I said, when it rains, it does really pour for Ackerman, it would seem.
I don't want to go into details. I'm angry. I'm really angry. I was ready to push it today, to have all that preparation and focus wasted by a vehicle fault. I'm almost lost for words.
Well, despite obvious vehicle difficulty, you still managed to finish. How hard is it to bring it over the line when facing such issues?
Obviously, we are a professional. We got on with the job. We overtook Jackson. We did quite well, to be fair, in the end. So, you know, I feel it's definitely a need to concentrate on the problem at hand and just hope for the best. We hope for the best. We got what we could. P8. you know, that you got to just do with what you've got.
Well, this is where experience comes in. You just have to switch off, be mindful, but try and ignore what is going on around you. To concentrate only on the problem at hand and hope for the best.
While it's an unfortunate start to this season, last season was muddied by a tense relationship with your teammate. How are things now with you and Aiden?
Now, this one's tricky because Brian told us off, and I feel like the team would want us to go with, you know, that was last season. Don't want to look back and forward, but, you know, think about it. You know, this little kid, he's come in and he's got a better engine. He's getting the preferential treatment. It's not, you know, weird to say that it probably wouldn't have happened on Aiden's car if it was that.
Well, let's just say the gearbox fault probably wouldn't have happened in Aiden's car. Perhaps it's because I'm more experienced and can handle myself better. But the team does seem to be keeping a closer eye on Aiden's performance. We'll just see how the season develops, I guess.
Thank you for your time.
That was a very cheeky interview, I feel, from us as Casper there. I think we played the right cards for how the mood is. And we go on then. Chapter 7. So much for a fresh start. Mechanical issues hamstring Ackerman at the Australian Grand Prix as his bad luck from the previous season continues. We go into the post-race. And we have, well, some thinking to do. I don't know where we go from here. Where does the story go? I guess we're going to find that out, really. And as we're in the social hub now, let's see. You know, obviously, Casper, 1.2 million followers we saw. He's a big lad, you know, in this alternate universe. He's a big player in the F1 paddock. Got our engineer, Jeff, kind of just talking about salvaging points from a frustrating situation, annoyed as you are about it. Brian saying, Jeff's probably contacted you. We'll look into the gearbox. Team's all over it. I'm sure they are. That's what they all say. And then Lucas Weber, our old mate. I take it you saw the interview with Butler. He's trying to wind you up. The man's a troll. Just ignore him and hope he moves on. Oh, is it now? Oh, Devin Butler's back. We haven't seen him in a bit. And he's apparently said something about us and trying to troll us and wind us up. Well, Lucas Weber knows how to deal with that dickhead. So, yeah, I'll take Lucas's word for it. And we'll try not to let it affect our situation, basically. We'll just move on then. And with that, we go into Chapter 8. Looking to bounce back after frustrations of the Australian Grand Prix, Casper Ackerman and Alfa Romeo are eager to find stability in Sakir. But as the race goes on, it becomes clear that his tyre wear is reaching critical levels. Bahrain Grand Prix, mid-race.
I'm losing grip.
Understood. Can you box next lap, Casper? Box next lap.
No, I need to come in now. It's quite bad.
We've got Aiden coming in now. Just hold out one more lap, please, Casper.
Isn't he a lap down?
Yes, he's on a different strategy, though.
Haven't I got priority?
He's boxing now. Please hold off, Casper.
Fine. No, I'm all over the place here. I'm coming in now. Must have been pretty urgent for Aiden, huh?
Please be patient, Casper.
There goes another piece. And another. Okay, let's go, let's go.
Oh my god, that was so painful to watch. That was so... Why? He was a lap down. Why would the team still stick with pitting him ahead of us?
Okay, that wasn't ideal. Let's see if you can get a few places back, please, Casper.
I'm on it.
Wasn't ideal. Wasn't ideal. He was a lap down. I think I heard that correctly. And he still... what? I like the fact Casper's remained very calm there. He's like, oh, I'm on it. So here we go, regaining lost positions and finishing 8th or above. Here we are then on fresh medium tyres, and we've got to try and rocket up the positions. We were, I think, in P5 when we made that pit stop, so I don't know if we'll recover all the way up to P5, but we're on the charge. Mazepin gets out of the way in the Haas under blue flags. We're catching up to Fernando Alonso in the Alpine, drifting the car through, getting to grips with this with a slightly different package underneath this, of course, the 2021 Alfa Romeo versus the 2020 car we've been driving so far as Jackson in the story mode, but we're now speeding up. We're catching up to Alonso. We've got a gaggle of cars up the road. Ricardo going there to lap Latifi. I think that is in the Williams. We try and and send one on a napping Fernando Alonso there. Wasn't going to go for the move initially, but then just thought we'll just send it there. We can't waste any time, and we're not going to. More blue flags, Latifi getting out of the way. But if we go quick enough, I can see on the minimap as well, a little bit wide there. I think that's the red dot of Ackerman. We might even catch back up to him to lap him, which will just be very awkward, and will just reaffirm how odd the team's decision was. Like, if we're a lap ahead and our tyres are going off, what logic is there by the team to not let us pit and have the priority? If he's a lap down, yes, he's on a different strategy, but that doesn't mean anything if we're the one in the points. It just doesn't make any sense. So, you know, you're kind of, you know, you're seeing that disconnect, that dislogic of, oh, hang on, why is Aiden getting all the treatment here if we are clearly in a better position, especially so in this race as we now continue to fight up the order. We got Ricardo. Vettel makes a mistake there with a lockup. There is Jackson getting out the way, and we go for a move on Vettel. We get very close to Aiden there and almost maybe make some contact with him, and that's just awkward in the cockpit for both of us there. But Vettel now defensive. We go to the inside of the hairpin. It's close, but no contact made with Ackerman. But no contact made with Sebastian Vettel. Get the move up into P8, and now we chase after Esteban Ocon. ERS boost, really nice run, and drive off the right-hander. And we're now down up into P7 by the line. We get to the last corner. Easy does it as Ocon tried to fire back a little bit. And then Sergio Perez here in P6, struggling in the Red Bull here, it would seem. Carlos Sainz way out the head on the hard tyre, so maybe he tried a different strategy versus Sergio Perez, but Perez looking a little bit vulnerable. So here we going through up the hill through that right-hander. Once again, can we look to find that drive that got us past Esteban Ocon, tight on the line, then on the exit, straight in the car, bit of ERS usage, and we are going to power pass, punch past the Red Bull Honda. We're on the inside line though. It's going to compromise our run into the last corner. A bit of a lockup as well as we go a little bit wide on the exit. A lot wide actually on the curb. Lose some acceleration. We've got DRS from Perez, and despite that, the Mexican comes through. We're going to give him a big old squeeze towards the wall. It's a ding-dong battle with Sergio Perez. We squeeze him out though. Hold our nerve into turn one. The Mexican makes some contact with us as he dives down the inside. We just about maintain the position, and we will come through for P6 on the road. Valtteri Bottas wins the Bahrain Grand Prix here in 2021, but we're going to weave about and celebrate because I think that's a great drive from us. P6, lost positions, lost time in the pit stop, no thanks to our team, and we've come back for a really strong finish, and Aiden is a lap down.
An interesting little encounter between Ackerman and Jackson in the pit lane, and might that cause more friction behind the scenes?
Ackerman sounded pretty angry on the radio, didn't he? Told to box the next lap, but he came in anyway. That's not the decision of a man thinking clearly. Is he bringing his personal grievances onto the track? I think he could be.
They denied each other a significant number of points last season, and if today's anything to go by, those issues look like continuing. Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
So that was an exciting race from our perspective. Let's have yours. Congratulations on a tough race today, Casper. To all of us watching, it seemed as if there was some sort of clash in pitting strategy. Can you talk us through it?
I think it's pretty simple, really. We had tyre wear, and our teammate was lap down, so the team strategy was incorrect. I called it. We called it as Casper because that was the correct decision, and if he wasn't there, it would have been an even better race because we wouldn't have lost that extra time in the pit stops.
The team strategy was wrong, so I called it. I had to. Sometimes when you're the one behind the wheel, you've got to call the shots. I felt the tires begin to go off and realized I needed to come in. The team may disagree, but I pulled it back, so we'll see.
So the problem we all witnessed today was a team call, and not a sign of continuing tensions again this season between you and Aiden Jackson.
At the moment, I don't get the vibe that they're both professionals, let's say, on the right-hand side answer. So I think we're going to go with the left. Competing strategies, cause a clash. That's what exactly happened.
No, everything's fine. Today was just an issue with two competing strategies that caused an unfortunate clash. Yeah, Aiden and I had our problems last season, but that was then. This is now. What do you ask?
Well, you seemed angry on the radio with your team. People are asking if that's an indicator of a deeper issue behind the scenes. What would you say to that?
The little quip when Casper was coming into the pit lane. You know, in the car, you know, F1, adrenaline pumping, going at speeds. you know, you don't know what you're saying half the time, really. Things just pop up into your head.
Well, there's nothing to be concerned about. It's just adrenaline. You're in the middle of the race, you get hot. I can't even remember what I said. If it was, you know, colorful, then I'm sure we'll all be laughing about it later.
Appreciate your time.
Well, things may have gone well, but you can maybe tell there's an undertone of still some irritation there for sure, just because of the situation. And while the incident in the pits may have cost Ackerman some places, he managed to draw them back and deliver a respectable finish for himself and Alfa Romeo at the Bahrain Grand Prix. We now go to the end of Chapter 8, post-race Bahrain.
I just don't get it, Zoe. He gets to pit ahead of me, and they give his car the only new power unit last season. And he gets to go out behind me in qualifying. This kid is the new #1 driver.
I don't believe that to be true.
But then why does he get paid more?
You're still upset about that.
No. But I don't know, maybe. I just wish I never found out.
Boy, that is a big revelation, that is.
It's not the money, though, is it?
I'm old.
You're not old.
I mean, he is a bit.
Yes, again, I am old. For a driver, I'm old.
Come on, this is your last season. You said you'd make it count.
Oh. I still need to tell them.
Will you?
Soon.
Oh.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, forget about Jackson.
Okay.
And stop playing the victim. It doesn't suit you.
All right, okay.
It's Zandvoort next, remember? Everyone's gonna be rooting for you. Be the guy they love. And hey.
What?
Be the guy I love.
Smooth.
That's cute. Did you come up with that yourself?
I'm a natural-born charmer.
Zoe's a very good character. It's bringing out a good side of Casper, for sure.
Verstappen's got nothing on me.
You had to ruin it.
Oh my god. No, that was the worst thing you could have said. No, don't do that, man. Oh, it's alright, it's your wife. You're already ball and chained up. But mad. That's a revelation. So Casper, this is his final season. He's gonna retire. He's not told the team. He's not told anyone yet. So, like I said earlier, we need to make the season count. And you know, you're gonna show up this season. Well, doubly now if he's retiring. I think that's what Zoe was getting at. Next race, next chapter, it would seem, is going to be the Dutch Grand Prix then, by that conclusion. And that is the home race for Casper, along with Verstappen, so that's going to be quite an interesting one. Frederick Vasseur has emailed us saying that he appreciates we're angry, but please don't badmouth the team in front of the press. So, the big boss is not too happy. Casper debriefs move back in half an hour. We'll go over what went wrong with the tyre strategy. See you there. Well, Brian, there's not much to go over, lad. You know, you guys screwed him over, but, you know, yeah, we don't want to talk about that. But Frederick not happy about what we did there. And then we've just got a press update. So apparently the clip of us, the team radio, must have been pretty urgent, has been clipped up. So that is going to be a bit of a storm. So even though, you know, behind the scenes things are looking calmer, I feel like we're growing to learn more about the man. We are still making a bit of tension, a bit of a whirlwind in the press and in the public. So, I don't know, let's see how the home race goes. Chapter 9, mechanical failures and team strategy frustrations have impacted Ackerman's early races this season. With the grid now heading to Zandvoort and Ackerman's native country of the Netherlands, he hopes that a return home will be the panacea to his recent struggles. The Dutch Grand Prix several weeks later. And we now know the bombshell that Casper, this is his last season in Formula 1 actually, so we've got to really try and make this count, his home race, but we've got to make the rest of the season count as we continue to play and drive the story from his perspective. I don't know if we're actually going to be back in Aiden's shoes for the rest of the season. I don't know, but we've got a call coming from his ever lovely wife Zoe, so let's pick that up and see what she has to say at the home race.
Zoe.
Daddy!
Hey, Lils. What have you been doing today?
I drew a picture.
Yeah? What's it a picture of?
It's a secret.
Okay. Well, maybe you'll show it to me later.
Maybe. Will you win today, Daddy?
I hope so, Lils. Hey, can I ask you a question?
What's the question?
Who's your favorite racing driver?
You are.
Yeah, just checking. Can I speak to Mummy now?
No.
Okay.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye, Lily.
Lily, absolute G. Absolute G. What a daughter. What a daughter. That was very heartwarming once again. It melts my very cold heart. But weekend preview. Zandvoort is narrow. Full of elevation changes, blah, blah. Just a random weekend. I know that. Look, we're Casper Ackerman, okay? We're Dutchmen. 1.2 million followers, mate. We know it like the back of our hand. But we've got a Morgan West interview. Casper, the interview we did with Morgan West has gone out. Can be a little bit tricky when he wants to, but he did a great job. Think you came across really well. Awesome. Lots to talk about. You and Verstappen. Yep, we're the two home guys. And here's Zoe. Hey, I know you need to keep on top of your email, so I think I'll send you a good luck message. Enjoyed out today. Cass, it'll be great to have you home tonight. If it goes well, we can celebrate. If it doesn't, well, home is the best place to be. Either way, I can't wait. Love. Environmental consultant. Go on, Zoe. Okay, very nice. But yeah, we got the wife and kids at the home Grand Prix. Going to go back to our home, just like Aiden got to do at Silverstone. So let's go out there and enjoy our home race. Chapter 9 with a family in the crowd. Gas Bakerman looks to a familiar track to turn around his fortunes. Dutch Grand Prix race day.
Hello and welcome to Zandvoort for another round of Formula One action. 4 lefts and 10 rights make up the 14 corners of the narrow and demanding Zandvoort circuit, with plenty of peaks and valleys over the course of a 2.6-mile lap, which will demand absolute concentration from our drivers here today. And so here we are, Zandvoort. If there's one thing you can guarantee, it's the incredible atmosphere these Dutch fans provide. The sea of orange shirts as much a part of the Grand Prix as the track itself. Max Verstappen, always a home favourite, but in the midfield, all eyes on Alfa Romeo's Casper Ackerman. He'll be looking to turn around a poor patch of form, and what better time to do it than here, in front of his home crowd. With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Norris, Leclerc, Sergio Perez and Bottas, Sainz, Ackerman, Fernando Alonso and Daniel Ricciardo, Stroll, Jackson, Esteban Ocon and Vettel, Butler, Gasly, George Russell and Nikita Mazepin, Mick Schumacher and Nicholas Latifi. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
The crowd's all behind you today, Cass. Let's use that momentum and see what you can do out there.
I agree, mate. I agree. And we've qualified pretty damn well here in the top 10. So we could do some business here with this much speedy Alfa Romeo and this alternative F1 universe. We're going to start on the mediums and go to softs. It's a 25% race. We've got the full 18 distance to do now here. So we've got a whole race ahead of us. So let's see what we can do. Finish on the podium. That is the objective. Is that what we're on? That's what we're on. 5 red lights are out and we're underway for the Dutch Grand Prix, playing as Ackerman, one of the home favourites alongside Max Verstappen, but we go round the outside of Sainz. Bottas was very slow in qualifying, it would seem, and slow off the bat as we get him as well off the line. He's on our tyres. We go round the outside of Sergio Perez. Easy does it on the inside. Perez with a real good fight, but we're able to get the elbows out and get up into 5th place. And now on the back of Leclerc, a bit of ERS usage. That Ferrari a bit slow maybe. Can we get them? Sainz pressurising us though, so maybe the Ferrari's improved into the 2021 season, just like in real life maybe. But up ahead, Leclerc, then Norris on hard, so maybe Norris may just hold up Leclerc, and I think that's what's happening here. There's a bit of a bottleneck, and through the banking, round the outside of the Ferrari, inches away from being in contact with Charles Leclerc, but a great overtake. Norris, very defensive, look at him, right to the wall. Great to see, to be fair, from the AI. But we go round the outside, jockeying for position with the young Brit, and getting through on the outside, and we're up into P3. We're in a podium slot already. Could we go for the win? Is that a possibility? Could we bring the ultimate glory for Casper Ackerman? This would be some sort of turnaround. We've gone from hating the man to driving the wheels off this wagon to get himself P1 here as we're chasing after Hamilton. Purple first sector, finding the speed within this Alfa Romeo, taking energy from all those Dutch fans. It's orange in the grandstand. It may be mostly for Max Verstappen, but we can use that to our advantage as well and try and soak it in mentally. And here we go off the banking, finding Hamilton a bit vulnerable. No DRS for him. There's over a 1-second gap to Verstappen. He goes defensive there, but we're going to keep committed to the inside line. Hamilton locks up. He locks up. He's made a mistake. He's made a mistake, but he's switched back to us. He's there on the inside. We're going to squeeze him. Hamilton comes through. It's a ding-dong battle for P2, but we maintain that, and we're now flying away towards the Flying Dutchman. Verstappen there. Can we catch him? As it's a Dutchman v Dutchman. It's a 1-2 for the home favourites here. But can we switch it round? And could we get the win against all the odds here in the Alfa Romeo? It's a bit overcast now, but we are catching slowly. A little bit of a love tap on the wall. Just want to check the damage there. No damage on the front wing, thankfully. But we now got the pit window open, and so we're going to go on to a set of soft tyres. Verstappen's on the same strategy, I assume, so we'll be there. So let's try and match him then. Tyre wear's not too bad, feeling a little bit, but we're still doing really well to maintain and actually hold the 1 second to Verstappen and keep that all the way through into the pit lane. So this is crucial. We need a good pit stop. We need a quick pit stop from the guys here at the team. Come on, no funny business this time like Bahrain. A bit slow there, bit slow on the reaction. 2.8, slow off the mark as well. And Verstappen maintains the lead. Obviously wasn't good. I think we're going to jump him, but it wasn't ideal. I think we lost a few tenths there, maybe. And on the exit, very understeer. We go across the line, get a bit of a warning, but it's fine. But the gap is still 1 second. So actually, to be fair to our team, we didn't lose too much. Bit of a wobble on the exit there, but it's just literally just me and Verstappen. Everyone else 4.2 behind, different tyre compound. It is just me versus Verstappen, Alfa Romeo versus Red Bull, Dutchman v Dutchman. And we've just hit a purple last sector. We're finding the speed, finding the groove on this set of tyres and this stint. We can get him. And at the same time, Aiden Jackson, our teammate, he's just pit now, and he's way down the order. We are thrashing him. He pits from P5, and he's going to go down the order further, maybe out of the points even. And we're fighting for the win. So we are really, really putting it to Aiden Jackson here and showing in the final season for Casper Ackermann and his last home race this is in Formula 1 that we could still do something. We are a veteran Formula 1, but we are a very coveted veteran, and Verstappen gives us such a big squeeze to the wall, but we keep our nerves balls of steel on the inside. We drift a little bit into turn 1, and we're going to hold this, defend the position. The Red Bull, I'm not going to lie, was very quick. Even though we caught up to Verstappen, after we caught him, I kind of lost a little bit of momentum not chasing after someone. Verstappen was very eager to get past us to the point where we backed him up into Hamilton. So a lot of defensive work having to be done off camera, but we come through into the last lap of this Grand Prix, and then this is all that matters ready for us. So we come through now towards the last bend, the banking, and we are in first place for Alfa Romeo, first place for Casper Ackermann at the Dutch Grand Prix in his last home race. We are going to win in front of his wife and kids and home fans. What a race, what a win, what a drive and day, and this is going to be big.
What a race for Casper Ackermann, proving the naysayers wrong with an emphatic performance. He'll be delighted by that podium finish.
Well, we all know he can do it. It's just been a while since he has. Great race from Ackermann and some much needed points for Alfa Romeo.
Looks like they're on their way out to the podium now, and what a result this is. And a popular one with the crowd as well. Great stuff to see the Alfa Romeo team on top here today.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. A podium finish today, Casper, here in front of your home crowd. How does it feel?
Obviously, it's a massive win, like I said, at home with the wife and kids as well, in front of his family. That's going to be the biggest W of the whole thing.
Well, my family's here today, my wife and my daughter, so I'm delighted I was able to have a good race for them. It means the world to have them here. I think I would have been miserable tonight if I didn't have a good race, which wouldn't have been fun for anyone. So yeah, I'm really happy.
And the fastest lap too today. Is that something you expected?
Welcome surprise? Well, I think welcome surprise. You know, the whole thing was a bit unexpected, but it happened.
It's realistically not something you think you're going to get too often, so no, I can't say we expected it. But it's certainly a welcome surprise. Every point counts, so come the end of the season, we might be more grateful for it than we realize.
How is everything at Alfa Romeo? Are spirits high? Is the team happy?
I think we can say with confidence, yeah, of course, we had a bumpy start, but, I think we've got off, we've got off to a good start here now. We've got a win, we've got a lot of races left. I think we can, have a very solid season, hopefully one for Casper's last.
Yes, of course. we've had a bit of a bumpy start, but we're looking to rectify that, and thankfully we got a lot of races left, so we're looking forward to the season ahead. But the only thing you can ever really focus on is the next race, so that's what I'll be looking to do.
Appreciate your time.
Okay, so how things changed from last an episode of this series to now. We are looking good. The end of Chapter 9. Casper Akkerman put on a virtuoso performance at the Dutch Grand Prix with a podium finish in front of the home fans post-race at Zandvoort.
Hey, man. Great race today.
Thanks.
Nice one, Casper. Can't argue with that performance. Shame your teammate couldn't bring himself to congratulate you.
Nah, well, he's just a kid.
Well, kid who's getting signed by Ferrari.
So they say.
Never gonna happen.
Oh?
You keep a secret?
Yeah, sure.
I've been approached.
Really? Yeah. Oh, congratulations.
Keep it under your hat, but talks are going well. So you're gonna have to get on with Jackson for a little while longer.
Yeah, well, we get on fine.
That's not what I heard.
No?
I was chatting with one of your mechanics. He had some very interesting things to say about Jackson. You know what his problem is, don't you?
Go on.
Thinks you're getting too old. Says you're not fast enough anymore.
Too old?
Hey, mate, his words, not mine. You want my advice? Prove him wrong. See, he should respect you like I do. Great race out there today, buddy. Yeah? Ciao.
I hate him so much. We haven't seen him in a while, but that great race out there, buddy. That sarcasm, that fake smile, that he's trying to get under our skin, whether it's Aiden or Casper. And he's just stirring the pot, isn't he? He's made Casper's cogs in his head just turn there. You could see.
Hey, Lily's dancing in the garage. It's hilarious. Can you come?
Just catching up on a few things.
Sure. Hey, I booked us a restaurant for tonight.
What about Lily?
Your mother's happy to take care of her.
Great, then I can't wait.
Reason to celebrate, right?
Yeah. Thanks, Zoe. See you later.
Bye.
I almost even forgot we're still at the weekend where we just won that race with Casper there. So we've got our wife and kids celebrating, Lily doing a nice little dance in the garage. We'll see them later. But Aiden is now calling us. Okay. After what the convo we just had with Devon.
Yeah?
Casper, I missed you just now.
What do you want?
I just wanted to say congratulations for today. That was some race.
I'm busy, Aiden.
Oh, sure.
Bye.
Bloody hell. Okay. I was kind of, getting behind Casper. That was a bit of a dick move there, being so cold with the guy. He's congratulating you after a good race, but obviously, Devin Butler's definitely got in his head. He's gotten in Casper's head here. You could tell that by that little scene, where as soon as Devin said what he was saying, just his head was clicking a bit. So it's going to be interesting to see whether that is now going to make the relationship even more sour, even though we're performing well now as Ackerman. But Brian Dorr congratulating us. We've got Claire Brody question about the team atmosphere. Good, you remain positive. Okay, yeah, cool. So they liked our PR answer then. Apart from Devin putting, the seed in Casper's head maybe about, Aiden saying whatever and maybe not actually secretly liking us that much as he's putting on there. Things are going well for us, but the tensions in the team are still very much there, and it's not being helped by Devin Butler stirring the pot a bit and being a bit evil with what he's saying to both our characters, Aiden Jackson and Casper Ackerman, and it's about whether they want to believe it or not, basically. And I actually don't believe a word Devin's saying about him getting the Ferrari seat, the little git. But we move on then with that whole whirlwind in the back of Casper and Aiden's minds, maybe. Chapter 10, with several laps remaining, Alfa Romeo looks to be in a favourable position with both of its drivers in the points. Casper Ackerman continues to push forward, but his teammate Aiden Jackson is continuing to gain ground on him. The Canadian Grand Prix, mid-race, gain ground on him. Why does that give me just the biggest PTSD from Mexico from earlier?
Casper, Jackson is faster than you. We need you to let him pass. Do you copy, Casper? Let Jackson pass, please.
I don't understand.
You can have the place back if you can't pull away.
Is he landing quicker?
Yeah, he's behind you, Casper. Confirm you'll let him pass, please.
Look, he's not close enough.
Come on, Casper.
Casper, don't do this.
He's not faster.
This is a team order. Do you copy, Casper?
He's not faster.
Oh my, we have a Ferrari, Fernando Alonso, Felipe Massa situation. Our objective is simple. Don't let Jackson pass. Well, it's good news, Formula 1 F1 2021 story mode. I have so much experience with not letting my teammate pass and being too stubborn here, and we're not going to let him pass. But Aiden is looking a bit quick here. He's on the same compound as us, and he's been gaining ground this entire time. We've got 4 laps to go after this one here. Lap 14, going a bit defensive, maybe just looking behind us and making sure we have enough ERS and tank, 77%, to make sure we can defend. A little bit slow, though, off that corner, you know, and Aiden quite quick off that one. A bit of ERS usage where we go to the inside, then back to the racing line, just to make sure we're covering off the right lines and double-checking that he's not going to make a lunge. But he continues to be there, but we continue to plough on. Lap 15, same place in the World Champions this time, though. Oh, big mistake, big mistake. No, 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 no. We don't need that. It's a big one, and it's a wobble at the rear end, and Aiden is down the inside. We squeeze into the inside, but he's dive-bombed, and he's nearly hit us. We've swiped through for this switchback. What great racing that is, and drama there nearly as us two Alfa Romeo teammates nearly collide into turn 1. That could have been Mexico all repeated. We go defensive again onto the last lap of the Grand Prix, locking up on the front left, just about slowing down the car, and Aiden is all over us here. He's on the inside, he's pushing us through that corner, and we are just about hanging on. The tyre wear is kicking in on the soft compounder tyre. There is drama here in Canada. It's heating up, and we've just got to hold on for a little bit more. Using out all we have of the ERS, then 27% of it we've got left for this last one. Hamilton has won the Canadian Grand Prix, but look at Aiden with DRS. He comes through despite us deploying ERS all the way down the straight. We have to go defensive so much into the last bend, the last chicane on the inside, and Aiden is right there with us. We're going to finish about 2/10 apart. And we've only just about done it, but we've disobeyed the team orders. We've clapped back at our team, and we've shown them we're not going to take it sitting down today.
You've got to ask yourself just what's going on behind the scenes at Alfa Romeo. This rivalry between the two drivers, well, it's simply not going away.
You wonder how many more points they're going to squander. I think Alfa Romeo have got a real problem here that they need to deal with. I don't know how, but they've got to address it.
You think of what happened in Mexico last season. The two drivers took each other out of the race completely. How long before we see a repeat of that? As you so rightly say, Ant, something's clearly not right over there. Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
It may be a great race for us as Casper Akerman, but something is in the air here in Canada. I think this is going to turn rather sour.
What was that? Hey!
Just leave it.
No! Just talk to me for once!
Just let go.
Back off! Why do you have to be like this?
Oh, so I'm the problem!
You won't let me pass! You won't even talk to me!
You want respect, you give respect! That's how it works!
How about you give me a little respect?
How about you earn it first?
How am I supposed to do that? I'm all ears!
You give me space out there. What's your problem?
I'm trying to win.
Oh, and that makes you special?
You're a nightmare, Casper.
Fine. Well, you won't have to put up with me for much longer.
What's that supposed to mean?
I am sick and tired of all this. I'm done.
You what?
I'm retiring.
Wait. What? Casper! Casper!
Oh no. Well, that was not meant to get out. And that is a very sticky situation to end this chapter on. The cat is out the bag. The world of Formula 1 knows that Casper Ackermann is going to be retiring after this season, but it maybe looks like it was Aiden Jackson's fault and the aggression that has pushed him into retirement following that fight. Chapter 11 then. The Canadian Grand Prix appeared to be the nadir of Ackermann and Jackson's relationship, with footage of the altercation going viral. Alfa Romeo hoping that both drivers can start to move past it over the course of the Austrian Grand Prix and prevent this season from ending in a similar fashion to their last one. And after what we've seen so far of this 2021 season, you know, the portion where we've been driving and viewing everything from Casper's perspective, you know, I do feel for him, yeah, and I hope you guys are also getting that sense, and that's why I think Cody's have done it. And I think it's a really great bit of storytelling and way to show this story by Cody's and the writers to you know, show the quote-unquote bad guy's perspective on things, because, you know, in the first part of this story, I was very much, you know, if you go back to those videos, very much in Aiden's camp, and now I can see, you know, Casper's got some points here of, you know, he's still clearly a very good driver, he's a veteran, he's got the experience, you know, he should be shown a bit more respect maybe out on track by not only Aiden, just the team as well in general. It's cheeky for the team to kind of have that team order. Updates from our PR person, you know, saying it's getting out of the way basically, and people are still going to be talking about this, you know, he's not faster, what Casper said in the cockpit, that's a clip going around, and now that we've, you know, quote unquote, you know, it's been released that we're retiring, we've got other people, our agent as well, saying, you know, talks with the sponsors and prospects of renewing contracts, that are upset about how they found out about the retirement, so we don't have a great deal of leverage basically on that. So it's not only just, you know, the team relations, it's our own relations. Playing as Casper right now, viewing it from Casper's view, you know, to be outed as retiring like this, yeah, not on our own terms, maybe doesn't let us, you know, go out of Formula 1 in a nicer way than we wanted to. And then we've got our good mate, Lucas Weber, doing, you know, just doing a nice, very email saying, are we okay? And hopefully we can just do well at the next one at the Red Bull Ring, which we've apparently always gone well at. And that's our next port of call in Chapter 11. A poor start to the race finds Casper Ackermann sitting at the back of the field with several laps remaining. The deployment of the safety car gives Ackermann the opportunity to pull back some much needed places. The Austrian Grand Prix mid-race.
Work to maintain tyre temperature, Casper?
Is the safety car for Aiden?
Aiden's had to come in. Now's a good time to catch up with the field.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Okay, so Aiden Jackson's actually caused the safety car then, it sounded like. So we've got to catch up to the field before the safety car goes in. That's our first objective. That shouldn't be too difficult, I think. I mean, we're quite far away, 24 seconds, but under the safety car, unless Bert Mylander's got it out for Casper, I think we should be fine. Actually, Jackson's retired. I didn't even see it on the top left, so he's completely retired out of this one. So we're the only one flying the flag. And remember, we're in a crucial midfield championship fight here for Alfa Romeo. So this is an important race we need to bounce back from. We've got half the race left. We caught up to the safety car, and now the objective's updated to finish in the points, 10th or above. That is what we've got to do today. At the moment, we're in lean mixture, trying to save some fuel under the safety car, but we'll go back to standard mode once we've done it. And to be fair, we could probably switch to standard right now under the safety car, because 1.45 plus of fuel, we're not going to burn that in the race time. But we're going to get straight into then onto green flags. We're now in, well, effectively second last place here. Our teammate is out, and we've got to climb at 9 positions to get into P10. So straight off the bat, trying to get Latifi in the Williams car, dive down the inside. Mazepin's going to be a bit slow in the Haas. Lock up from Ocon, I think that was just ahead of him, but we're going to try and get a good exit then off turn 1 and look to maybe dive bomb the Russian in the Haas car. Gaining. He gives us a good old squeeze, and it's a massive send, and we're trying to go for 3 positions in 1, and we have a little bit of contact with George Russell. Apologies there, my man, but we have got 3 places in 1 with a massive dive there. That is huge, and that is the kind of drive we are going to need to get into the points here and to continue showing to Alfa Romeo that although now that you know, now the team knows, now the whole world of Formula 1 knows that we may be retiring at the sport, we've still got what it takes to rub shoulders with the best here in Formula 1. And we've caught up now to Sebastian Vettel and Pierre Gasly fighting. We've just got Schumacher there in the second Haas. Gasly goes defensive into turn 1, round the outside. He easy does it to give him the room. And on the exit though, oh no, mistake there from us. The rear end steps out there, a little bit slidey on the rear end for the Alfa Romeo, and Gasly gets back past us, and Schumacher has now gone for a mover, now going to make it 3 wide. Big send to get both of them back into that right-hander, back into P13. Thankfully, that was almost a complete disaster. It could have gone a lot worse because we nearly went fully onto the grass, so that could have definitely span us, but crisis averted, up into P13 once again, and closing up to Sebastian Vettel. And we've also got a bit of a train ahead, and all these cars maybe are going to be for position. I mean, we have to get to Carlos Sainz. Sainz is the first Ferrari there, the lead Ferrari in P10, so that's what we're aiming for. So first and foremost, though, getting past the German, Sebastian Vettel easy does it on the curb on the inside. Have to be careful there, but then roll the car through. But Vettel may come back for this switchback from left to right. Open up DRS, so that will help us out versus the Aston Martin car. So now we can see the two Ferraris up the road, but there's some fighting going on ahead of them, and Devin Butler is in the mix there. But we make another big mistake there. It's a huge one, and we don't actually deploy DRS for a while there because I actually was so rattled by the mistake we made, and now we make a dive on the Ferrari. It's all going a bit pear-shaped here. I think I've gotten quite flustered in the cockpit on Casper's behalf here. After that restart on the safety car there, we overtake Vettel, but as we did it, we dive-bombed Leclerc. Not intentionally, I didn't mean to dive-bomb Leclerc, but we did it, and we had to cut the corner to try and keep it a little bit, not make too much contact, and spin the car around. But now we're having a go on the Ferrari, and by the way, if you're just joining through this series, you've got to remember the Alfa Romeo, it's an alternate F1 universe, so I assume in this alternate F1 universe of ours, in this career mode save, the Alfa Romeo is a much better car, and of course we are on the hardest difficulty that the game mode and story mode is available to us, so we are just doing the most that we can and doing with what the tools we've got at our disposal, and we're trying to overtake Carlos Sainz. But to be fair to the Spaniards, giving us a really good fight, some really robust defensive work into the last two corners there, making some contact whilst we did it, but eventually we get through into the top 10. But that is not going to be enough for us. We want more, and more importantly, Devin Butler, the little dickhead, is right here. Oh my god, what the hell happened there? Devin Butler, he started vibrating into the brake zone. I don't know what on earth that was. We made some contact with him, of course we did, so it's getting a bit frosty between ourselves and Devin. He gives us a bit of a squeeze. Can we squeeze him back? Bit of contact made. We're going to squeeze him to the right, try and go for this switchback maybe. No, doesn't work out. Don't get the traction we wanted, but then on the exit, ERS, oh, Butler nearly squeezes onto the grass. Round the outside we go though, of our rival, one of our arch rivals in this series so far, the man who has tried to give us quote-unquote good advice to ourselves as Casper and also Aiden Jackson, but seems to be just trying to do it for his own personal gain. We've overtaken him up into P9, and now we're going to watch on Alonso and Stroll having a nice little squabble here. Very similar to our My Team episode uploaded just yesterday, where Stroll was battling Ocon on the other Alpine, but we go for the double overtake. This time it's on the left-hand side of the Alpine car and the Aston Martin car. Round the outside, this will be a very bold move, and we've got Alonso still there, and Alonso cuts across us, but then on the exit wobbles about. He's on the hard compound, so we should really be overtaking him on the medium compound. We do eventually up into P7, and we go trying to chase after the two McLarens of Ricciardo and Lando Norris in P5 and 6 respectively. Now DRS on Ricciardo. He's got DRS on Lando as well, though, to be fair to him. But he may be caught napping if we're lucky, but just going to be a bit patient with this move. Ricciardo on the inside, the two McLarens fighting. This will be close, and there, Ricciardo, oh so close to making contact with Lando on the left-hand side over on that track. Ricciardo now tucks back in, pulls to the left this time, and we're unable to quite make a move. I'm trying to get stuck in, but it's so difficult to place the car and trying to find the space to get it. But there we go. Lando squeezes Ricciardo out, and we're up into P6 as we get the undercut line on the right-hander. And now can we get Norris? Can we get the last position here? P5 to us. Max Verstappen wins at the Red Bull Ring in the Red Bull. Purple first sector for us, green second. Can we do it on Norris? I don't think so. The last two corners may be a little bit too fine. We're going to try and send it through, but it's difficult on the curb. Last corner, gain a bit, but then lose some on the exit, and we won't get the P5. Lando Norris will come through for that. We gave him a real good run for his money, but a very good recovery then for Casper Akerman from P19 to P6 in this race with Jackson out of it. We've still got it. We've still got it.
Ackerman's done well to finish in the points, in stark contrast to his Alfa Romeo teammate Aiden Jackson. he didn't even finish at.
Yeah, Jackson's looked off the pace all weekend. His performance just isn't where it should be. You can see the odd error creeping in on track too.
Well, if you believe the rumours, the Alfa Romeo camp is not the happiest of places right now.
Yeah, and that can affect even the most experienced of drivers. I just hope Jackson gets his act together. He's a promising talent and he's much better than this.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. Today's race certainly had its ups and downs for you, Casper. Are you pleased with that performance?
I think obviously maybe the team is going to be a little bit, iffy with us following the retirement announcement. So let's not maybe bag on them and say it was opportunity missed. We'll just be like, happy to salvage the points, basically. It wasn't easy out there, but let's not kind of go double down on, it was a missed opportunity.
Yeah, it wasn't easy today. I somehow kept finding myself in the wrong place at the wrong time, so really happy to salvage some points. The safety car gave me a good opportunity to turn things around. Pretty pleased overall, yeah.
Speaking of the safety car, Devin Butler has gone on record calling you lucky to get the result you did. Did luck come into it today?
Of course, the little git has commented on that, but little luck never hurt anyone.
A little bit of luck never hurt anyone, did it? Yeah, the safety car was really helpful for me. I discussed a couple of things with the team, and I managed to take my chances afterwards. It played a big role in the result today.
Teammate Aiden Jackson was forced to retire today. Would you say he's going through a bit of a rough patch?
I think it's clear from Casper's view that he would just go with, you'll have to ask him about that.
I'm not here to talk about Aiden. You'll have to ask him about that.
Appreciate your time.
So as we head into the end of then Chapter 11, this safety car proved an integral part for Eckermann as it helped him turn a poor start into an impressive top 10 finish. The Austrian Grand Prix post-race, the tale of two drivers indeed. And we've got Brian on the blower wanting to speak to us.
Brian.
Cass, are you busy?
Well, actually...
Look, I need you to come to the office. Can you pop by now?
Why? What's going on?
Nothing. I'll tell you all about it when you get here.
Can't you just tell me now?
Thanks so much, Casper. Really appreciate it.
Did this man just simply ignore our question in the end and just went, oh, thanks, yeah, cool, thanks for turning up, man. That sounded a bit ominous, the way he was kind of like unsure of how to kind of tell us what he wanted the meeting for. So are we about to get a bollocking of some kind? Because we haven't really actually had reaction from anyone from Alfa Romeo about our retirement announcement in that video. So I guess we'll find out now.
Casper.
What's going on?
We need to clear something up. Take a seat.
Clear what up?
Aiden thinks it's his fault that you're retiring.
I'm sorry, Casper. I do respect you. Quite a lot, in fact. And I don't want you to retire. I didn't mean the things that I said. And I want you to know that if you're retiring because of me, I'll...
Will you tell him? This anxiety, it's no good for his performance.
I'm not retiring because of you.
But everyone says...
I'm not retiring because of you. Can I go now?
No. You're going to give him 2 minutes of your time.
Well, Brian, what am I? His therapist?
2 minutes, Casper. That's all.
Well, this isn't awkward. So, the weather?
Everyone says...
Everyone's an idiot. Look, I'm not retiring because of you. I told Brian after Zandvoort. I'm sorry you found out the way you did.
It's tough.
Yeah, can be.
The press. Social media. I don't know. How do you deal with it all?
Listen. There's only a handful of us in the whole world who get to do what we do.
Yeah.
A handful. You deal with it by never forgetting how lucky you are to be here. Understand? Never forget.
Hey, Casper.
Yeah?
Do you ever forget?
Sometimes. Sometimes we all do.
That was a very, very slick little ending there. That was nice. So maybe that is clear the air between Aiden and Casper. I guess we'll find out as we roll on into chapter number 12. As the 2021 season rolls on, the F1 grid moves to historic Spa-Francorchamps, with Casper Akerman sustaining his recent run of form. Alfa Romeo hopes that both of its drivers can maintain this level of performance. The Belgium Grand Prix 2 months later.
It's Sunday and that means it's race time here in Spa. As the cars are being prepared, let's join them trackside for the start of the Belgian Grand Prix. So here we are once again, ready to go racing through the Ardennes forest. 4.35 miles of long straights, fast corners and massive elevation changes. It makes this not only one of the most exciting circuits on the calendar, but one that makes for some consistently high quality racing as well. Simply put it, there really is no place quite like Spa. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position. And Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Bottas, Norris, Sergio Perez and Ricciardo, Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Sainz and Lance Stroll, Mazepin, Ackerman, Esteban Ocon and Butler, Jackson, Russell, Sebastian Vettel and Mick Schumacher, Gasly and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
Right, so it looks like we've got another full race on our hands here now in this Breaking Point episode. We've got the Belgium Grand Prix. It's a 25% race, 11 laps, and there is a fair amount of rain there, indicating maybe even into full wet. So over 11 laps only, that's some transition from dry with overcast conditions at the moment. We start, I think, P12 on the grid then, and our objective is simple on the left-hand side, finish in the top 5. So going for glory here, and we're off and underway, trying to do what we can do at the Austrian Grand Prix, essentially, as we're trying to go to the inside there, but Mazepin dives down the inside, and the Russians up into nearly P3, he's into P5 with a massive dive there. We went for the dive, but he went even bolder, very much like Ocon did in our My Team episode yesterday. The AI out dive bombs me as we couldn't quite get Leclerc into Rouge, then up the hill onto the Kemmel Straight, but using plenty of ERS to try and close up these two ahead. Ricciardo and Leclerc, will they try and go either side of the Haas? Ricciardo to the inside. Alonso actually trying to overtake us, so we have to go a little bit defensive and watch out for him. We're on the left-hand side. Easy does it, not wanting to make too much contact with Alonso on the inside then. It sets us up for a lovely little move on the outside of the Ferrari. Great exit speed over the curb, down the inside. Bit too deep then as the understeer kicked in. I couldn't really check where my brake point was, so we kind of pushed Mazepin wide there to get the move, but the FI say nothing of it, and we're up into P7 then, so I don't think many people will be complaining about the over-aggressive move on the Haas. A mobile chicane as Leclerc gets past him, and Leclerc, to be fair to him, comes back at us as well. The Ferrari obviously putting up a bit of speed here, so coming back at us, we defend against the man from Monaco, and we are going to maintain the P7 and try and concentrate a little bit and dig deep and get on towards the back of Daniel Ricciardo, because of course we're aiming for a top 5, so we need to continue going even further. We've got Sergio Perez up the road and then Lando Norris, but looks like Norris may just be overtaken by the Red Bull any moment now as we go swooping round the outside. Then as we go through Blanchimont towards the bus stop chicane on the outside, foot to the floor, to the inside for the next right and then left, and easing it in. And now setting our sights on the Red Bull and McLaren of Perez and Norris on lap number 2. So already some really good progress has been made here, and the rain is definitely coming because it is very overcast, and we're right up the back of Sergio Perez as we go through Rouge, then up the hill, down the Kemmel Straight. ERS, we're going to continue deploying it because we want to get past the Mexican. Stop deploying it halfway through. It's going to be a little bit close. Drag race here, not wanting to overuse ERS though, remember, because it's already on 45% there just before we started braking. So that's already quite low, to be honest, for a 25% race with obviously no upgrades on the ERS like career mode to help us out here. So we actually have to be patient, to my surprise, with Perez here and instead make a very unorthodox move on the inside of the right-hander here before the double right into this last section. And as we now catch through Norris and go through the apex, there is the droplet of rain on the left-hand side of your screen. So the rain is coming. Norris a bit slow off that corner. Going to try and squeeze him to the inside, get the job done, but a bit wide as the droplets of rain are definitely affecting the grip levels there a little bit in the brakes as we lock up on the front right. And we have to try and go again with Norris. We're going to go side by side, deploying ERS into Rouge, and we're going to be side by side up the hill. It is very, very close there, but we hold our nerve and we're going to maintain the P4. But look at this, a very strikingly different visual here as we enter the end of the lap, and it's time to come in for the intermediates, very much so, as the grip levels have also worn away as we enter the pit lane. Oh no, he's half spun it, and we half spun it again. No, oh no, we've hit our wing on the pit lane entry. That was not part of the story. That was not meant to be in it, and so we've got to change our front wing. Aiden Jackson's in as well, but he's a bit further back for us. But we're going to lose some time then and positions, I'm sure, changing the front wing. So we're adding our own tension and extra bit of story to the story here in Breaking Point with the front wing change, losing 2-3 positions there. Coming ahead, still at Sergio Perez, somehow ahead of Perez still. He must have got held up in the pit lane by Leclerc and Norris, but Leclerc and Norris, the McLaren and Ferrari, are back past us, and we have to do it all over again then. We're at P11, of course that will jump up because there were a few people that didn't come in for Inter straight away, which is a massive mistake on their part, but we're definitely going to have to get those 2 positions back to maintain and comfortably get into the top 5 then that we need for the objective today. But Gasly on the softs, I don't know what on earth he's doing. He's done the reverse of what he did in real life at Germany when he went onto those full wets, when he was bone dry. He stayed on the dries here, and look at this, Latifi also joining him, and he's held up Leclerc an absolute tree. So thank you, Latifi, there helping us get past Leclerc with ease. And now we're chasing after Lando Norris. Big dive around the outside. Technically don't need the move, we're in the top 5, but going for glory and going for P4 if we can. But the grip levels are so tricky here as the rain is still coming down. Remember, there was forecast for heavy rain as well on the indicator, so I wonder if maybe the grip levels are already getting away from us on the Inters. But this is a really great scrap with Lando Norris in the McLaren. We're still side by side. We're on the inside line though, so we've got the better racing line as we get through to the outside curb on the right there, and we're back into P4 and hopefully now can hold station. But there was one Mercedes man who did stay out, and it was Hamilton. So Hamilton stayed out on the dries. He's only now come into the pit lane, but you can see how low the grip levels are. I think it's honestly going to be a lap or two's time and to be full wets because I've got so much understeer in this car. But we've overtaken Lewis Hamilton, and Hamilton's pit straight onto wets then. So Hamilton, I think, stayed out on the dries and then went straight on to wets, and our teammates in behind us. I think Norris came in, so it is time for full wets. The rain is definitely a lot heavier, so maybe we've made this mistake now this time round. But I don't know if Hamilton actually went from dries to wet, or we just missed when he made a pit stop onto Inters. But either way, he made that call early, and that may have just paid him dividends. He's coming through the final bend now, I believe, and may just be able to get Verstappen. I don't know if Verstappen was ahead of him or not pre the pit stops. We're in now for the full wets on lap number 7, so spending plenty of time in the pit lane. This time though, didn't spin it into the pit lane wall, and we're going to have a pretty mediocre 3.1 in the grand scheme of things compared to real life Formula 1. But we're going to be out. Well, where are we going to be out? Where is Norris? Looks like Norris has hardly gained that much time actually, so despite us going a lap later, we didn't actually lose that much time on those Inters, and maybe this is why. Lap number 9, I'm coming back in for Inters. Now that may seem ridiculous, but honestly, that changed so quickly. There was like a brief moment of 2 laps there where, yeah, there was legit that much rain for full wets, but then straight away I was finding no grip on these full wets, and it was the same as when I was on Inters and it was time to come in for full wets. So I thought, okay, we'll come back in for Inters. We were a decent margin ahead. We're now going to be down to P10 then, so we've got 5 moves to make in the span of just under 2 laps. But I feel like I personally felt like the grip levels were so low then on those those full wets that this is the correct call. Aiden Jackson is in as well, so he's in on the Inters as well. And we've got maybe one other person on the minimap coming in for Inters, but at the moment in the top 10, we are the only man back on the green wall tyre. But we immediately catch up to Ricciardo as we go down the hill. Look at the difference here. It's like taking candy from a baby against Ricciardo, and we'll do the same against Lance Stroll. The difference in grip levels is quite something here as we go around the outside of Lance Stroll, and you can see the nose is so much more responsive. Stroll has a bit of performance there, but we're able to dive down the inside with much more confidence, and so we've made the correct call. So it may look quite over dramatic, but we have made the right decision. The weather has been crazy in a 25% race. I've never seen the rain change this much. I don't know if it's just a storyline thing or the new weather system being that volatile on the F1 2021 game, but we overtake Alonso then up into P7, 2 positions left to go to get the top 5. I don't know whether we can get all the way back to P4. I hope we can, maybe, and we'll be kind of vindicated in terms of this decision. But these guys, because it's the last lap of the Grand Prix, they may as well stay out and firm their decision on full wets. That's fine by me. That's fine for everything. But, you know, we are very much the quicker man, and the Inter is the correct tyre to be on. So I wasn't going crazy. And now we catch up to Sergio Perez and Lando Norris down this hill, trying to skate our way through. It's tricky, even these conditions. Even though I've got the grip difference, it's still obviously a tricky ordeal to navigate the corners on Inters as well. So we have to watch out for ourselves and not be too overconfident. But it's easy to be that much overconfident when you've got this much better grip, basically, as we're going around the outside of Norris, a little bit deep into that corner. He comes back at us. The DRS is enabled, so that just tells you how dry it's getting. It might even be time for slick tyres in 2 laps time, but it's the last lap of the Grand Prix, and we cross the line. Verstappen wins it from Hamilton to Bottas, but we come home in a very, very neat and tidy P4 with an extra pit stop added on.
Another top 5 finish for Alfa Romeo. Amongst the drama, and they've been quietly racking up some good points.
Yeah, it's caught me off guard a little bit, actually. When you look at the table, you realise they're not doing as badly as you might think.
Alfa Romeo have been nothing if not entertaining this season, for good or for bad. It'll be interesting to see how they fare by the end of the year. Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be proud of the victory they secured here.
Another successful race despite the difficult conditions. Casper Aikman continued to impress at the Belgium Grand Prix as he achieved another top 5 finish. Post-race, the Belgium Grand Prix.
All I'm saying is that the team are back in the mix this season. That's how good you've done.
Yeah.
You're ending your career on a high just like you wanted. You really couldn't ask for much better. You want one? What's wrong?
Nothing. What? Nothing. I'm fine.
You haven't driven like this in ages. You're out there having a great time. You're raking in the points, but you're doing your moody face.
I'm not doing my moody face. Stop that.
Like this.
Okay. It's Aiden.
What about him?
Well, he's still not right. He's moping around, anxious, apologetic. I think he's struggling.
I thought you were going to ignore him.
Yeah, but he's just a kid. He needs support.
From you?
So, how many races have I got left?
What's this all about, Cass?
Let's say that I've got 3 or 4 months left in F1. What if...
Go on.
Nah, forget it.
No, what?
You laugh at me.
Promise not to.
It just sounds so stupid.
What does?
What if I can...
Oh my God.
What?
You've gone soft, haven't you?
I knew you'd make fun of me.
You want to make the F1 world a better place before you retire. You want to help the team, help Aiden, your own career be damned.
And what if I did?
So Casper Ackerman does have a heart after all. I'll alert the media.
Look, Zoe, I'm serious. What if I did?
What could you do?
Well, Ferrari have a seat coming up next season. Some say they might even sign him. That is his dream.
And you think you could help?
I honestly don't know.
Oh, how the tables have turned. Look how this is coming around then. So, interesting. At the end of this episode, going into the next one then, we may see some teamwork, some mentor-mentee sort of vibe from Casper, as his wife jokingly said, maybe he has gone soft. Well, Casper Akerman, the old man, has gone soft. Chapter number 13, with an impressive run of form behind him and renewed focus, Casper Akerman and Alfa Romeo are hoping that they can continue to build on the performance as they head to the Russian Grand Prix in Sochi and into the final third of the 2021 calendar. 1 month later, and potentially bridges have been rebuilt between Aiden Jackson and Casper Akerman.
Brian.
Cass, can you head back to the data center quickly?
What's the issue?
The team are just finishing up going over the data from P3. They want to confirm some aspects of the tyre strategy with you.
It's a bit late for that, isn't it?
We won't do anything you're not comfortable with.
Okay, let me just finish up here.
We'll be waiting, whenever you're ready.
Thanks, Brian.
And you can certainly tell the mood in the team is a little bit nicer there. You know, I feel like before, maybe the team would have changed settings for us without asking us like that, with Brian calling us, whereas that, it was quite, comforting, reassuring. So it feels like the team is now fully behind us and Aiden after we kind of squashed that beef. Obviously, us playing as Casper, we've had a renewed uptick in performance. There's still talks of our retirement, and we're getting constant emails about will we go into broadcasting and things like that. All the things you have to think about as an outgoing driver potentially. And then our wife just, reminding us that, it'd be a good idea to help Aiden if we can. And so along with performing for the team, that's maybe what we're going to see in today's episode, in this chapter, maybe chapter 13. With a few laps remaining, Akerman has found his Alfa Romeo outperforming many of the cars on the grid. An alternate tyre strategy appears to put Akerman in the perfect position to challenge for an even greater finishing position and even a chance at the fastest lap. We join mid-race at the Russian Grand Prix.
Casper, we think you can push for the fastest lap.
Not now.
Yep, we're in a strong position. See what you can do.
No problem.
So it looks like we've been chucked straight into the deep end as we overtake the Aston Martin as we get sent on our merry way. Lap number 9. And it's, the objective of setting the fast lap of the Grand Prix and also finishing in the top 10. We're on the soft compound tyre, everyone else on the medium and the hard. So we're definitely going to be one of the fastest guys on circuit, obviously with this improved Alfa Romeo in this alternative F1 universe. So catching up to George Russell, then we're in P13 at the moment, looking for a very cheeky move on the outside there as we kind of let the car roll through and take the natural racing line to the inside to get the Williams car. And then we've got the Haas getting out of the way of Schumacher under blue flags, but already looking good. Purple first sector, 2 greens, not quite the fast lap yet, but there we go. Lap number 11, there is purple, and now we're catching up to the likes of Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon up the road in the AlphaTauri and Alpine respectively, and these 2 places would be for the objective, to be fair, so we can get that done in one foul. So it would be good. Dive bomb into turn 2, and we get Gasly with ease, and then chasing off to Ocon. Now we've got a little bit of ERS to you, 26% there, so we have to be careful, use it at the right times on the back straight. Probably going to save it until then. Lock up on the front right, trying to get the nose turning. First time driving Russia on this game. It's still as terrible as ever, but finding good speed in the Alfa Romeos. We're clearly faster than Ocon, gaining every corner. Can't quite make a move here. Ocon really slow, like a mobile chicane almost through that right-hander. Down the inside we go. He's on the hard compound tyre. We're on the softs. And so it's an easy overtake, and now we can chase after. Well, look at who it is up the road. Devin Butler. If we could catch up to Butler, that would be kind of sick, but unfortunately lap 13 just don't quite have the overwhelming pace to catch Devin. He's on the soft tyre himself, so we couldn't quite get Devin Butler, but we got the objective. P10 in the bag, fast lap of the Grand Prix. Short and sweet experience here in Russia, but I think that's because there's definitely more to come from this upcoming chapter. But, we've seen Butler a few times on track now, saw him last episode as well. I think, slowly as the bridges are being built between myself and Aiden, we have to maybe start to question what Devin Butler's played in all of this. What role has he played in potentially myself and Aiden fighting each other? You got to remember, Butler said something to both me and Aiden at different points of this story.
That's quite some achievement for Alfa Romeo's Casper Akerman, getting the fastest lap out.
Yeah, it's not often that you see any team outside of the top 3 pick up that extra point. Alfa Romeo went with what looked like an aggressive tyre strategy, but it paid off for them. Incredible, really.
Alfa Romeo now very much in the mix for a strong midfield finish this season. And who knows, they might even be eyeing up 4th place. They'll be delighted. The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
Hey, Zoe.
Hey, everyone's talking about the team dinner. We're still going, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, come on, Cass. You'll miss these things when they're gone.
We'll see.
Why did I marry such a miserable man?
Because he makes up for it with his charm.
That's not what I heard.
Yeah, well, don't believe everything you hear in the news.
What are you up to?
Just emails and stuff.
Okay. I think I'll head back to the hotel.
I'll see you there.
Bye.
I can confirm Casper has seemed like a very miserable man up till now. He's had a few little redeeming features and moments in the last couple of episodes, but you got to admit, for most of the story, he definitely has been a bit of a miserable git. But yeah, great performance from us great performance from us at Russia to turn things around, the alternative strategy. And now we've got a team dinner, you know, a time to celebrate what the team's done, try and build morale for the end of this season, and maybe, just maybe, a point of the story where we can try and bury the hatchet with Aiden once and for all. Because we go to the end of Chapter 13, where another successful race weekend behind them. The team at Alfa Romeo hold their annual team dinner the following evening after Russia.
I'd like to congratulate you all on a superb performance so far. There's still a lot of work to do, but give yourselves a round of applause. You've been wonderful. Well, I'm sure you've all heard by now, but, well, this will be Casper's last season as an F1 driver. And if you get the chance, then please do your very best to change his mind. I'm only kidding, Casper. You will be missed. Anyway, I'll stop talking, for once. Have a wonderful evening, and let's push for 4th! Look, I know how this works. I've been around long enough. I'm just saying, you have a future here. I've seen a lot of drivers come and go in my time. But you're special, Aiden. You've got the makings of a true great. I mean it. Casper!
Hey.
Where's Zoe?
Oh, she's around somewhere. She loves these things.
Oh, and you don't? Wow. Mind if we join you?
I'll be my guest.
Come on, Aiden. Sit. Why didn't it work out between you two?
Brian, I'd rather not discuss.
I don't care what you'd rather, Aiden. Casper's leaving us, and I know that your agent's been talking to other teams. This could be the last chance the three of us get to chat like this. Who knows? We may not even see each other again after Abu Dhabi. So come on. What's the deal?
Listen, I just want to have a nice evening.
He's on more money than me.
What?
Ah, hence the frosty reception.
Everybody started talking about my age. Just wanted to prove myself. Prove that I was better than the next flavor of the month. This was not about you, Aiden. I don't know.
What about you?
He didn't want me on the team.
Didn't I?
You wanted Ricardo instead.
And you thought I was past my best.
What? But that's not true. You're having an amazing season.
Could you verify that number for me?
That's right.
And that's the contracted amount, yes?
Yeah.
Do you mind if we show him? You two are a couple of chumps, do you know that? And you should know better.
I don't understand.
No, but he does. It would be funny if it wasn't so tragic. I wonder how many points all this has cost us. Well, I'll leave you to it. You can apologise to me later.
I don't understand.
I'm an idiot.
Why?
Paddock gossip.
So none of this is true?
There's always gossip in the paddock, and ever since he's arrived, there's been one man at the center of it all.
Who?
The man who told me pre-season last year that you signed a better deal. The man who said you thought that I was too old. And that would be the same man who told you I didn't want you signed.
Butler?
And I believed him. How could I be so stupid?
You're not stupid, Casper.
I didn't think he had this in him.
Why would he bother?
Look at all the mess he's caused. The crash last year, the fight in Canada, and how much easier has he had it because of all of that?
What can we do?
Beat him.
Yeah, boy, it's go time. Okay, tag team. This is the part where in a movie where we all come together, you know, shake hands, and we're going to work as a team to defeat the real bad guy, the real villain of this whole story, Devon frickin' Butler. Chapter 14 then, with the team's chance of 4th place finish in the Constructors' Championship still alive, and with their fractious relationship now behind them, the Alfa Romeo teammates are determined to show the motorsport world what they can really do. 2 weeks later, the Japanese Grand Prix.
Hey.
Hey.
How are you finding it out there today?
Tough. We're overheating the tyres a little through the S's.
Yeah, happens. Do you mind if I join you for a moment?
Please.
They want us to push for 4th.
You think AlphaTauri are catchable?
Maybe. Butler's having a good season. He claims he's been approached by Ferrari.
I heard. He is the more experienced driver. I think the seat goes to him.
You said it had always been your dream to drive for them. Is that true?
Yeah. It is.
Okay, I'm going to give you space out there. I'm sorry I didn't do that before.
I'm sorry too.
I want us to push for 4th. I want us to beat Butler. And I want that seat to go to you.
Thanks, Casper. I don't know how we make that happen, but thanks.
Well, we work together. Help each other out, that's all we can do.
Then let's do that.
Yeah. We've adjusted the camber. Seems to help manage the tire temperatures a bit better.
Yeah?
I'll get them to share my setup data with you. Just see how it feels out there.
Thank you, Casper.
Truce.
Truce.
Aiden.
Casper, hey, have you got a moment?
Yeah, of course.
That camber adjustment really helped. I guess I just wanted to thank you.
Not a problem. Those tires in a better range now?
Much more manageable. Thanks.
Well, those milliseconds all add up.
Brian says we can catch AlphaTauri.
Brian says a lot of things. Just focus on the next race.
Thanks, Casper.
I'll see you trackside.
See, this is what we love to see. This is what we love to see. And this is what we didn't think we were going to see from the start of where we were at the start of this Breaking Point storyline. How contentious and kind of how tense things were with Aiden Casper. To now see them working together. The old man giving the youngster some tips here to bring both of them up to take the fight to AlphaTauri and our other midfield rivals. It's good to see. It's good to see. And now we're heading to the Japanese Grand Prix. Because with several laps remaining, Ackerman sets his sights on both AlphaTauri drivers in an effort to snatch some much-needed points for their championship rivals. We join mid-race at the Japanese Grand Prix.
We're seeing both Butler and Gasly's lap times increasing.
I still have time to catch them.
Roger, we're on fresher tyres than they are. Push, push. Let's put the pressure on.
Yeah, copy.
Let's bloody have it. Let's bloody have it. We're here at the Japanese Grand Prix, lap 6 out of 13, and the objective is pretty simple. Beat both AlphaTauri drivers. That's Devin Butler, and it's quite poetic in a way how the other one is Pierre Gasly. So we've got Ackerman and Jackson's main rivals in this storyline, Butler, and then you've got my kind of historic little sort of folklore rival in Pierre Gasly on the F1 games. They're both in the same team. We both, you know, all three of us want to smash those two drivers, and so that's the objective, to beat both AlphaTauri guys in this race. We're trying to go around the outside of sight at the moment. Spoon curves doesn't quite work out for us there through the left-hander. Instead, have to wait to the exit, deploying a lot of ERS down towards 130R, up into P13, looking to get Ricardo. Ideally, we can try and dive bomb him into this chicane. That would be ideal, because then we've got a lot of clean air to chase after Gasly. There we go. It's a very late lunge, and we just about get the nose turned in and up into P12, and there we are then, 2.3 the gap to Gasly, and that's what a chase after. And then after him, it's Devin Butler and points paying positions, and I think we've got Jackson also in the mix somewhere in this race. I don't think he's actually pit yet in this Grand Prix, because I can see him up the road on the minimap, so I think he's going to join our battle maybe a little bit later. But right now we're catching up to our first AlphaTauri rival, Pierre Gasly, my main game rival over the years in the F1 game. You guys know the history from F1 My Driver and such. And round the outside we go of Pierre, and we're up into P11 now, and Jackson has come in on this lap. So like I said, he might be coming out quite close to us, so this is going to be Alfa Romeo v AlphaTauri, both of us facing these guys. We're now going with the move on Butler. He goes a bit defensive, but here we go to the inside, and there's some contact made, and we push him wide, and Jackson comes out just ahead of us then. So we're both ahead of the AlphaTauris. We've done what we need to do, but will Butler come back at us as we enter sector 1 a little bit slow? It's a understeer kicking in. Butler sends his nose in down the inside, bit of a twitch on the rear, and Devin Butler is out of the Grand Prix. We've taken out Devin Butler. He tried to go for the cheeky dive, but it was too much. What was he doing there? And it's just very awkward indeed, but we've taken him out. I didn't mean to, but we've taken out Devin Butler. We're very aggressive with our move on him. Ironically, though, it's his attacking move that takes him out this one, and he spins out in your face, mate. That's absolute karma, if you ask me personally. And so we can just cruise up to the back of Jackson, trying to get some more points for us personally, driving as Casper. But P9 and P10 points ahead of Gasly, way ahead of Butler now. It's all coming up Alfa Romeo, it's all coming up Ackerman and Jackson right now. We may have the job done, but we're going to continue to push on. We've still got a couple of laps left in this Grand Prix. Jackson goes a bit defensive, but we're going to overtake him with ease with DRS and get up into P9. And we're going to go forth and be the team leader that we have once again become, as we chase after Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll and the Aston Martin and Alpine, respectively. Big dive bomb on Alonso there, neutral for a bit into the hairpin, but no contact made with Fernando Alonso, and a nice little squabble with him. We're used to that for the My Team series, to be fair, but on the outside just before Spoon curves up into P8, and now we can chase after Lance Stroll. And then what I think I'm going to try and do is slow these two up, play a bit of the team game maybe, and try and get Jackson a bit more in the points, because every little point's going to help. And we're going to fly past Lance Stroll on lap number 11, DRS open, bit of ERS deployment, but not even that much really to get past him, and then into the first corner, nice and easy, and then try and back him up into Jackson. And that's exactly what we do, because then onto the last lap of the Grand Prix, Sergio Perez is going to win this one for Red Bull Racing. We're in P7 and Jackson is up into P8. there's not a Gasly or Butler in sight. Absolutely amazing. You do love to see it. I'm still taken aback, but I didn't mean to do that. I didn't plan on taking out Butler in that kind of way. Oh, I thought we were going to do it at turn 1 whilst we overtook him, but instead it was Butler being over-aggressive with his move in a place where you hardly make an overtake work really like that from that far back. And he takes himself out, basically. You love to see it.
Another action-packed Japanese Grand Prix comes to an end. And what a magnificent drive to take the win here today. Alfa Romeo continue to put the pressure on AlphaTauri. That gap might still be a little too big to close, but for Alfa Romeo, it's very much game on.
Yeah, when I think back even just a couple of months, Crofty, I didn't have Alfa Romeo pegged to be competing with AlphaTauri. Both Jackson and Ackerman performing at their absolute best out there today.
Well, they certainly were, and no sign of any disputes on or off track between the pair of them. Might they have put their differences behind them? Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be proud of the victory they secured here.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. Solid performance out there today, Casper. You must be pleased.
Yeah, the competition, it feels like it's been fiercer than ever this season. Obviously, you know, Aiden's been pushing us, but now, together as a unit, we're coming together to battle back against the main rivals, AlphaTauri.
Yeah, the competition feels like it's fiercer than ever this season. And the team is working really hard to keep up, so we're grateful for every point we earn.
Those points bring you a little bit closer to AlphaTauri. Is that something you're particularly focused on during the race?
Absolutely. That's what we're focused on. That's what we've been building towards. And even more so when you've got the man Butler. That's a target that we want to beat.
Absolutely. We're into the business end of the season now, and we want to climb as many places as we can. Right now, that means catching AlphaTauri. So, anytime we can put the pressure on a little, that's good for us.
We asked Devin Butler a similar question. He said, and I quote, "Alfa Romeo are a bit of a shambles. I don't think they're catching us anytime soon." What's your response to that?
Is this man okay? Is this man serious? He took himself out just now. This man is scared.
Sounds to me like the words of a man running scared.
Thank you for your time.
Devin, if I see you in the paddock, it's over. On site. No cap. It's over, lad. It's over, okay? Don't catch me at Abu Dhabi. If I see you, Dunzo. And to chapter number 15, with Alfa Romeo continuing to put together an impressive run of form, the gap between 4th and 5th places in the Constructors' Championship is continuing to narrow. The United States Grand Prix 2 weeks later. And, you know, going into this Grand Prix and going into these final 2 chapters, you know, where we're at now, you know, things are starting to come together a bit. We've now understood that Butler is the real villain here. He's tried to turn us, driving as Casper lately, obviously, against Aiden, who we began driving as at the start of this story mode, and now the two are working together better. Everything's kind of all water on the bridge. Even Brian seems to be a bit happier, it seems, I think.
Zoe.
Daddy!
Hey, Lils.
Mummy says you're in America where the cowboys live.
Yeah, Daddy's in America.
Are you racing with cowboys, Daddy?
Yeah, 1 or 2. Hey, who's your favorite racing driver, Lils?
You are.
Just checking. Love you.
Love you, Daddy.
Hey, can I speak to Mum?
Bye.
Hello?
Apparently she enjoys hanging up on you these days.
So it seems.
All set?
Yeah, all set.
The odds are shortening on the 4th place finish for Alfa Romeo.
It's a shame. I enjoyed being the underdog.
You've still got to beat Butler.
We've still got to beat AlphaTauri, you mean?
That too, I guess. Right, you go and prepare. See ya.
Bye.
See, even our wife understands that it's about beating Butler. It's not about AlphaTauri. You know, the story's obviously focusing on the Alfa Romeo fight, but in reality, we all just want to beat Devin Butler. I mean, we took him out. We laughed a bit last episode. If we can do it again, you know, in this one, in the final ever episode, as we round out the story, that would be great as well. An interesting little email here from Brian, just kind of saying about, you know, Aiden obviously being scouted by Ferrari and asking us to maybe put in a good word of, you know, if he does stay, you know, the team will take care of him, Alfa Romeo take care of him. So I like it, and they're kind of planting little seeds here in the emails with, you know, what could possibly go on and happen once this story is over, once this season's over, you know, leaving it up to us to kind of imagine what might go down after this one. And to be honest, if I had to pick, I would say the story would have to go with Aiden going to Ferrari. I don't know, who knows? Who knows in the future? We don't know what Cody's and EA are thinking about, but who knows in the future? Very much like with FIFA and The Journey, maybe we're going to get a second sequel to Breaking Point, where it follows Aiden to Ferrari then or something like that. That'll be quite exciting. But anyways, we're now going into the USA Grand Prix weekend, and I think we're going to bump into a familiar but annoying face.
Fellas! Sell-out crowd, they're saying. Casper, I haven't seen you since you announced your retirement.
No.
Well, fair play to you, mate. Takes a brave man to admit he can't compete anymore. I didn't mean it like that. I'm just saying, you're a brave man. I'm paying you a compliment.
Now you're saying I can't compete?
Nah, I didn't mean it like that. I just meant some have said that, well, you're past your prime, that's all.
That won't work anymore, Devon.
Sorry, what won't work?
We know what you've been saying about us.
Oh, I genuinely don't know what you're talking about.
You know, I used to think you were just a gossip, Devon. Now I know you're a liar.
Oh, come on! You guys used to be so much more fun. Used to get into fights, take each other out of races. We all enjoyed that. Oh, you know, it was very entertaining. Now you just mope around bickering over who said what. It's a bit petty, to be honest, guys. Seriously, you're supposed to be role models.
Yeah, I won't argue with you, Devon. I won't win.
Yeah, you do seem to struggle a bit with winning, to be fair.
Yeah. And maybe you are right. Maybe I am past it. But he's not. And he's the better driver.
What, the rookie? He's only just got here. You do know the Ferrari seat's mine. The contract's as good as signed.
There's just one problem with that, Devon.
Huh? Enlighten me.
I don't believe a word you say anymore.
Tell him, mate. Mate?
I don't know who this is going to.
Oh, my guy, Lando. Go on. Go on, son. I wasn't ready for that. I didn't know Lando had a little speaking role. When did they get him to do that? But the gloves are very much off then. That was awesome. Casper and Aiden standing up and not taking any more of Devin Butler's BS, basically. And yeah, when Casper like pointed over like, but he's quicker, that was for me, like at that moment in time, put something like Avengers music on the build-up when he gets off the table and like steps forward. That was like, yeah, okay, I may not have it, but this guy, he's gonna smash you in the race. But love it, love the vibe. So we're ready. We're gonna be joining mid-race at the USA Grand Prix with Butler's mind games no longer having any effect. Ackerman sets out to take the race directly to the man who caused the rift between the two teammates at Alfa Romeo.
Okay, Casper, you're doing great. Let's keep this up.
Here's Butler ahead.
Butler, you're closing on him. No theatrics, please, Casper.
Yeah, understood.
Now, you see, it's already a bit too late for theatrics because we kind of already did that last time out of Japan. But, you know, I can't promise anything. Casper said, you know, he's understood. But I personally, Arava, driving as I can't make any promises about any theatrics. But right now, we're going to go chasing after Butler. And that is the only objective in this race then. 7 laps to go around Kota. And the one and only objective is beating Devin Butler. So we can definitely do that. And we go chasing after him. We've already overtaken Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin. Latifi very awkwardly getting out the way. Not quite as quickly as I wanted to. So that was very, very awkward because I wasn't really sure sure where he was going, left or right, which way he's going to let me go. But that finally does release us, and we have caught up to Esteban Ocon on the very next lap, then lap number 10, so 4 to go. Butler's in P6, so this is going to be a little bit close maybe if we don't get a move on here, so need to try and get a move done on Ocon at the end of this straight and then get immediately on the back of, I think that's Pierre Gasly, the other AlphaTauri. Ocon goes a bit defensive to the inside. That's fine. We've got the DRS here. And in the brake zone, it's a pretty easy overtake, actually. A bit of a lock-up on the front left. Slow the thing down. And now we go chasing after Gasly. And then it is on to Butler. And he's actually been overtaken. He's down to P7 then. So I think one of the Ferraris, I think, overtook him. So he's down to P7. So that's pretty good for us as well. And Gasly's going to be mincemeat here as he does not have DRS. We do. And I think our tyres are a lot fresher. He's on the softs. We're on the mediums. I think his soft tyres are maybe worn out a bit. Then we've got a squabble up the road, and our teammate Jackson is also involved there. We've got a Haas that's under blue flags of Schumacher, but Jackson right on the back of Devin Butler. So not only do we have to try, well, we have maybe a double chance, you know. Our engineer talked about no theatrics. I'm just saying, you know, we're catching up to Butler, and Jackson's there. You know, we could do a bit of, you know, teamwork, a little bit of a, you know, you go on the left, I'll go on the right, bit of a pinch and squeeze, pinch some movement. You know, I think the FIA wouldn't really mind it, to be honest. But I think that plan is kind of out the window because Jackson's overtaken him, and that's opened up the window for me to go for the move on Butler. He's slow through the double right-hander. Down the inside we go, side by side. We've made contact. Butler's hit us. Butler's hit us. We've gone a little bit wide, but Devin Butler has made contact with us. He's kind of pounced back a little bit. Is that revenge for the Japanese Grand Prix, I wonder? But I think the gloves are well and truly off between myself and Devin Butler, and this is going to get a bit frosty. We go across the line for a new lap. Banging tyres, going to push Butler towards the inside, go back to the racing line, cut in tight for this switchback move, and it's a textbook one. We cut across him and we make sure we assert our dominance there to get up into P8. It's a massive wobble for us on the exit, but we hold it thankfully, and we're going to hold this through ahead of Butler. But my oh my, that got a bit tense, and that nearly got a bit over the line in a way with the way we squeezed him, but needs must when he's hitting us as we overtook him. But here we are then, finishing ahead of Butler. Jackson ahead of us as well, so both of us scoring good points in the fight versus AlphaTauri in this midfield championship battle.
Well, this season promises to end in quite the dramatic fashion. The tussle for the top continues, but in the midfield, Alfa Romeo very much closing the gap on AlphaTauri.
Both teams have had a terrific season. Butler and Jackson rumoured to be in the running for that open Ferrari seat too. Can't wait to see how it all plays out.
If you're anything like us, you won't want the season to end, but end it must. From here on in, every second of every lap counts. What a riveting season it's been. Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
So that was an exciting race from our perspective. Let's have yours. Yet another victory over rivals AlphaTauri today, Casper, and more speculation over whether or not you can steal that 4th place. What do you have to say about that?
Obviously, a big part of this whole season story is, you know, having the eye on 4th place for a while now, and, you know, we have now buried the hatchet, and we know as a team what we're capable of, and we can do this. We can smash Butler, we can smash Gasly, and we can get that 4th
well, yes,
place.
And rightfully so, in my opinion. We've had our eye on 4th place for a while now, even when others have ridden us off. We're working tirelessly to make every second of every race count, and it's right that that's reflected in the standings. We know what we're capable of, and we know we can do it.
Your retirement grows ever closer, of course. Is that something you think about?
Now, this is a really interesting question and two very interesting answers in terms of ways we could go about it, with the way Casper might feel, you know, no, I've got a job to do. And I feel like, you know, Casper in a way would be kind of like, you know, no, I've got a job to do. That's what I'm focused on. You know, off track is a different story. But at the same time, we've seen the softer side of him, and we've seen that he's enjoying his racing now. He's back to his best. And so maybe that retirement's allowed him to enjoy the racing a little bit more, I think.
Yes, of course. It's easy to take a race for granted when it's all you ever do. But when you only have a certain number of races left, each one takes on a greater importance somehow. I think my retirement has allowed me to enjoy my racing a little bit more, and I'm grateful for that.
Are you looking forward to your retirement? How will you spend it?
Now, with this question, this is where I'm going to go with. I think Cass would just go, yeah, ask me once the season's over. Right now, focus on the job.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves, shall we? I'm still an F1 driver, and I still plan on driving the remaining races. Ask me again when the season's over.
Appreciate your time.
So we round out Chapter 15 with Ackerman managing to best Butler at the United States Grand Prix, earning some much-needed championship points for Alfa Romeo as they continue to snap at the heels of their rivals at AlphaTauri. And now with that done, you know, we're getting now towards the final chapter, chapter number 16. I assume it's going to be at the end of the season, so we're going to be focusing on that. And, you know, the momentum's building. Everyone's got that final fight on our mind versus AlphaTauri to get 4th place.
Aiden.
Casper, hey. We're closing in on AlphaTauri.
Yeah, good race out there.
I think we can do it, Casper. I think it's on.
You know it's not going to be easy, right?
Well, the fights that can't be won are the fights you fight the hardest.
That doesn't make any sense.
Of course it does. Anyway, I'll leave you to it. Just wanted to say congrats.
Yeah, you too. See ya.
Bye.
Hey, that's a nice throwback. That was the phrase that Aiden's mum told him as a bit of a good luck charm in a very early episode. I think it was part 1 or part 2 maybe of the story, and he's actually, you know, he's actually remembered it and used it.
Brian.
Casper, debrief has been put back 10 minutes, so you've got a little more time.
Okay, thanks.
Great race out there today. Who'd have thought we'd been pushing for 4th just a few months ago?
Yeah, well, you know what they say. The fights that can't be won are the fights you fight the hardest.
Whoa, brilliant. I'll have to remember that one. That's inspiring is what that is. You keep fighting those fights, Casper. See you at the debrief.
Yeah. Bye, Brian.
That's really cool. That's it. That's awesome. Casper then used that same phrase we just heard earlier that Aiden used. That was from his mum. Casper now used on Brian. So now everyone in the story, apart from maybe Zoe, and that's it, has heard that phrase now. Great stuff, great stuff. But that really might be the sentiment and the vibe now going into the final chapter then of this entire Breaking Point story mode. The fights that can't be won are the fights you fight the hardest. It all comes down to this, the final race of the season. With a superb effort over the back half of the year, Alfa Romeo have managed to find themselves within striking distance of AlphaTauri, Devin Butler's team. We join at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix 1 month later.
Brian.
Casper! Cassie boy!
Cassie boy.
A big day today. Huge.
Yeah.
Last race of your career. How does it feel?
Well, I don't know. I guess I feel...
Oh, I'm so excited, let me tell you. I'm like a kid at Christmas.
I'm excited for my retirement.
Oh, you're going to be great out there today. I can feel it in my bones. You're going to be terrific. Just remember what I taught you.
And what was that exactly?
Hilarious. I sure will miss you, Cass. Let's go out with a bang, eh? Not literally. Right, I'll leave you to it. Be brilliant. Be wonderful. Good luck.
Okay, it's officially taken 8 episodes, 16 chapters. Brian's officially lost his head. I don't know what that ending was. I don't know what he's been smoking in the morning, what he's had his porridge, but clearly he's on something.
Hello.
Hey, Cass. How's it going?
Yeah, fine. Just a little bit...
sad?
Yeah, maybe. How's Lils?
She's good. We're just grabbing an early lunch. Do you want to talk to Daddy?
Why aren't you racing anymore, Daddy?
Well, because Daddy's retiring.
Can I retire?
You need a job first, Lily. Hey, who's your favorite driver?
I like Aiden.
Aiden? Did Mommy tell you to say that? Can you put her back on the phone?
Aiden Jackson. Bye, Daddy.
No, just hang on, Lily. Hello? Aiden Jackson.
That's awesome. That's it. That's how things have changed from the start of this story, huh? Now we've got Casper's daughter saying that her favourite driver is Aiden. That's just a bit awkward as well.
Aiden.
Hey, Casper. How's it going?
Yeah, fine. You okay?
Yeah, I just wanted to wish you well, really. And say thank you, you know, for everything.
Hey, you've got nothing to thank me for.
And look, I'm sorry.
I think we've apologized enough by now.
I guess we have. So, the last race of an incredible career. I'll be honoured to witness it.
Thanks, Aiden. I'll see you down there.
See you down there.
Now that seemed like a bit of a somber sort of like this is it that this is the final outing now, and, you know, we've got to do the business there with Aiden, the way he sounded. And Lucas Weber has also emailed us to say he sends our best wishes ahead of the final race, and he wants us to beat Devin Butler. Of course he does. Obviously, Lucas Weber, well known with Devin Butler, back on the F1 2019 F2 story mode. And we've also been given some motivation with some pizza for after the race if we do well. So that's always going to motivate me. Pizza is my favourite food, so that would definitely motivate me personally. Don't know about Casper. But with that then, here we go. The main part of Chapter 16, the final chapter. Knowing they need to finish ahead of both AlphaTauri drivers, Casper Ackerman makes a push up the pack as he sets his sights on Devin Butler and a 4th place in the Constructors' Championship. We join at Abu Dhabi on race day.
Welcome to Abu Dhabi, and we're just about to start today's race here at the Yas Marina circuit. This is a track known for its long back straight, and it serves as a fantastic opportunity for overtaking, going into the slow speed corners that follow it. We have 21 corners here at the Yas Marina circuit, 12 to the left and 9 to the right. It's a total lap distance of just over 3.4 miles. There are 2 long back straights opening up some passing opportunities into the braking zones, and we expect average lap speeds of around 123 miles an hour. Alfa Romeo could catch AlphaTauri today, but it's a pretty tall order. And are you still surprised they are where they are?
I am, to be honest, yeah. When you look back at how they finished last season, the fight they had in Canada, the antagonism on and off track, these two really weren't getting on. I think a lot of people, myself included, had written them off.
Well, they've been nothing if not surprising, the Alfa Romeo pair. Of course, neither driver may be with them next season.
Yeah, it's Ackerman's last race today. I'll certainly be sorry to see him go. And they say Jackson and Ferrari are in talks, so who knows?
Well, Ferrari continue to be cagey about that open seat next season, claiming that no decision's been made just yet, and they'll see how this season concludes first. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, Lance Stroll, and Fernando Alonso. Leclerc, Butler, Norris, and Carlos Sainz. Vettel, Ackerman, Aiden Jackson, and Gasly, Mazepin, Ocon, Daniel Ricciardo, and Mick Schumacher. Latifi and George Russell ends our grid lineup. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race. Plenty of overtakes from this man Ackerman today, and here's another one to chalk off. This guy shouldn't be retiring from Formula One. And what's happening here? It looks like Gasly's retiring. And I'm not sure what the issue is, but there's a potential opportunity here for Alfa Romeo, as it seems that Devin Butler's been left alone to see off the competition.
And he's not having the best of days, Crofty. A few mistakes creeping in here and there, a few lockups. This race isn't over yet.
Quicker than Butler now, Casper. Outstanding work. We've got a chance here.
Roger.
Let's make that push. We're all behind you.
I'm on it.
Here we go then, the final race in this story. That intro was absolutely gas, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, love the CGI work on this entire story. It's been fantastic, and that ending right there to set us up for this race was sick. And our objective right now is to beat Butler and get him by lap number 9. So we have to try and go and chase after Lance Stroll first of all. Bit of traffic in the last sector. Obviously Abu Dhabi difficult to overtake at times, but a dive down the inside will get us up into P10 and give us some crucial clean air to go chasing after the others. And there's a bit of a train here with Norris, Ocon and the Ferrari there of Sainz as well. So hopefully we can look to pass all 3 of them in quick succession, but going a little bit wayward there and using a lot of the curb and the runoff area because, you know, with the new 2021 curb systems and the physics, Abu Dhabi's gone even more like a roller coaster with these curbs, and it's really quite tough out there, but we're making the most of it, and we're setting 2 purple sectors. The fast lap of the Grand Prix. We are the fastest man out there. We're going round the outside of Lando Norris, and the McLaren defends really well, though, and we have to stick in behind for P10, try and cut in a bit tight here and get a tighter line through the right-hander, get a good exit, bit of ERS usage round the outside. We're going to feed this through easy. Does it roll the car through? Jink to the right, slow the thing down just before the hairpin left, and we're up into P9, and now we're going to set our sights on Esteban Ocon. We'll have DRS, of course, and we've got a decent amount of ERS overtake mode to deploy as well. So opening that rear flap, gaining the speed. Stop deploying ERS, though, halfway down this straight because I wasn't sure we would absolutely catch him, so I wanted to save some ERS for maybe the second bite of the cherry in the next straight. But Ocon, very slow, actually, and he hits the curb on the inside there and hops over, and that just allows us to swoop through very easily, actually, then in the end. So Ocon made my life easier, thank you very much. And we're up into P8 then, and chasing after Carlos Sainz, and that ERS coming in handy to catch up to the Ferrari. You saw there how much we gained with the DRS and using the rest of the overtake mode on that straight. And now really closing up to Sainz in the last sector. Can we get a move done on the inside? I feel like we got a good exit here. Bit of ERS usage here on the inside. Flat out commitment. Foot on the right pedal, and we're so close to the wall. That orange barrier was inches away from smashing our front right. But that's the sort of commitment we need in a season finale, a story finale like this in the Breaking Point story mode on F1 at 2021. We catch up to Butler. This is it. We need to overtake him, and that is our objective here, and we're doing it well before lap number 9 here. Lap number 7, DRS open. We've not got that much ERS, though, to use. We're in 16%, so we're not deploying any at the moment, but that still won't stop us from making a move. Butler goes defensive. We're on the outside line, cutting in tight to try this switch, but Butler sees it coming and defends from us quite successfully, to be fair to him. But we're going to get the second bite of the cherry of DRS, deploy a little bit of ERS as well to boost us through, and we're now side by side, and this should be a pretty simple pass to get past Butler well before lap number 9.
So Alfa Romeo potentially on track to really upset AlphaTauri here, with Ackerman leading Butler and Jackson not too far behind. Butler's closing in on Ackerman. He's trying to win that place back, but which way's he going to go? Down the inside he goes, and they've hit each other. That's really aggressive from Devon Butler. He sends both cars spinning out. Butler into the barrier, and that looks to be the end of the race for him.
Too late on the brakes. I'm sure the stewards will be looking at this one after the race.
But the Alfa Romeo car's still moving. The Dutchman looks to be continuing, and
it's great to see him still in this fight, Crofty, but he has suffered significant damage. There are points still up for grabs today, though, don't forget.
Well, that is significant, but can Casper Ackerman's Alfa Romeo finish?
You okay, Casper? The data this end suggests the car is compromised.
That's fine. I can finish.
Butler's out of the race.
Butler's out, we have a shot. Jackson's closing fast, Casper.
Okay.
You need to go for third, Aiden.
Bobby, third. What about Casper?
What, we let Aiden pass?
Let Aiden pass. Do the best you can, Casper. How's the car?
Good enough. Will you give a message to Aiden?
You need to pass Casper, Aiden.
Copy.
He says you'd better get on that podium.
That will get the team fourth.
Maybe, if Casper's car holds out.
I guess I better get on that podium then.
Hey, this is gas. We're back where it all started. We're now driving as Aiden Jackson once again, and our objective is updated to finish on the podium. Hopefully Ackerman's car, keeps stable. He's able to finish in the points, but we need to maximise the most that we can do and go out there and get a podium to give ourselves the best shot of getting 4th place in the Constructors. We're chasing after Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. He's on the hard compound, so we are on the quicker tyre. We've got 4 laps left to go, and we're in P6, so we need to get a move on here around the outside. The same move we did on Lando Norris earlier. A bit of a pinch then, contact made as we were a little bit overconfident with where we placed the car, but no bother. And now we can go chasing after Sergio Perez We're going to catch up to him on lap number 11 pretty quickly, actually, to be fair, as the Alfa Romeo much improved in this alternative Formula 1 universe of ours in Breaking Point. And we're just going to be patient here. We caught him up the hairpin, so we'll have DRS now on this main straight, and then up the road is Valtteri Bottas. So that is the man we're looking to overtake to get the podium. Of course it is Bottas flagging behind, but even so, he's in a Mercedes, so this is going to be a little bit close here. 1.8 the gap is. We've been flying in this other Alfa Romeo of ours. We've driven 2 of them tonight around Abu Dhabi, but let's see if we can do it. We've only got 4 laps left to go after this one, so I think it is going to be a pretty tight affair to get the podium, but we're going to give it our best shot, and we do catch up to Bottas then. 6/10 the gap, and we're within 1 second for DRS on the last lap of the Grand Prix. This is it. We've got a 2/3 of a lap to go to get the podium. And you can see behind us, Ackerman, he's actually done so well. He's up into P5, so we could definitely get 4th place in the Constructors with the podium. We go to the inside of Bottas, but it's going to be really close to the apex. Bottas squeezes us almost completely off circuit into the curb, but we go for the switchback move, the Nico Rosberg on Max Verstappen from 2016. Switch it from left to right, get the acceleration, and we get ahead of the Finn up into 3rd place. And all we've got to do is hold this together and not crack under pressure for the Mercedes car. But our teammate Casper, he's done amazing with a broken car off that crash with Devin Butler. He's somehow overtaken the Red Bull. He's come through, and he's actually not even too far behind us in P5. But here we are then, the last couple of corners as we go towards underneath the Abu Dhabi Yas Marina Hotel. Lewis Hamilton will win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, Verstappen in 2nd, but we are going to come through for 3rd place, the podium at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, as Aiden Jackson driving as the character that started it all for us in this story mode. Round the final bend, and that is the podium secured.
Superb effort, mate. Well done. Just brilliant.
Woohoo! And they've done it! What a season this has been for Alfa Romeo. Even a race or 2 ago, you wouldn't have believed it, but they finished 4th in the Constructors. If the rumours are to be believed, they'll be reluctant now to let young Aiden Jackson go. What a talent he's proved to be, and an incredible end to an incredible career for Casper Ackerman, who somehow found his way back into the race after that nasty scrape with Butler. What a race here in Abu Dhabi.
Hey boy, get the champagne out. Come on.
Cheers, mate.
Oh, my G, my G. Yes,
Thanks.
G. Good stuff.
Hey.
Casper! We did it.
We did it. Have you seen the crash yet?
No. What happened?
No, I'll let you see it for yourself.
And Butler's okay?
Bruised ego, perhaps. Anyway, I just came to congratulate you all and bid you a fond farewell. It's been a pleasure. And I'll see you later. We'll celebrate.
Stay for a bit.
No, no, no.
Oh, come on. What are they going to do? Discipline you? This isn't my victory, Casper. This is ours.
Oh, well, isn't that touching? Look at it. Oh, look at his face. He's so happy that Aiden said that to him.
Some race. Yeah, some race. You know, you had us all worried for a moment out there.
Brian, when have I ever let you down?
You really want me to answer that?
Best not.
Hey, it's been a pleasure.
Now the pleasure has been mine, Brian.
Heck of a career you've had, Cass.
Casper!
And I think you'll want it.
Casper! Casper!
For heaven's sake, man, get out there. You've earned it.
Oh, the thumbs up from Binotto, the big man at Ferrari. Maybe sequel, Breaking Point 2, Aiden at Ferrari maybe? Oh, who knows, but wow. There we have it. There we have it. In loving memory of Murray Walker. That's a classy touch as well at the end. And in loving memory of Max Mosley. That has been F1 2021 Breaking Point.